He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's right here off the line. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and welcome all inside, well, another IA baseball broadcast here as we are sitting at Prospect Meadows here in Marion, Iowa. The backdrop for our beautiful game, our broadcast here today, it's Strikeout The Stigma. We're back at it again. It's our yearly homage to Strikeout The Stigma and the great events that they've got going on here, and a whole lot of fun here in store for you. Again, Andrew Brown ready to help you through alongside, and I bring him back because he's the man, the myth, the legend, Jay Wannell. Jay, thanks for joining me again.
Yeah, this is great to be back, and another great event. So good to see kickoff to the season, some good baseball.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think what's fun about this is it's really hard to put to a normal scorebook, but that's for the right reasons, right? Because of the fact of what's going on here, and it is for such a great cause. And for those of you new to all of this, this is just 4 inning scrimmages before each game, just 4 innings. And then, of course, they get the decked out great gear that you see here. And, of course, we got a couple games here for you, many going around the complex here. In fact, not just baseball, but softball going on as well, and there's a whole lot of fun to be had going around here. So we're kind of jump right into it here as we get ready and set, and we just want to say thanks for joining us along the way. Appreciate you coming along the ride with us. Now, as we take a look, this one we have for you, Marion versus Iowa City High. Marion in the black with the green trim, and of course in the bright lime green jerseys is Iowa City High. And of course, you know what, Jay? I think that you gotta love what's going on here because you have not just between these two teams, but everybody here. This is such an amazing event when you bring it all down. I mean, you've got total, when you add up all the seasons that each team has had 20-plus wins or more, you get 84 of those by count. So you've got a lot of deep teams. We're going to see a lot of great deep talent here and then beyond. So if you want to see the whole context of the thing, make sure to get out here to Prospect Meadows and catch all the great things that we can have here.
Yeah, it's a really neat event, and as all the fans are filing in here. You know, it's a great matchup early. A lot of great teams here in the area, great coaches. So it's a really good event to kick off the baseball and softball seasons.
Well, no doubt about that here. And again, if you get the chance, ladies and gentlemen, here we'll make sure to catch you up on all kinds of different things here. So make sure to please follow along and give your thoughts and more. And again, if you don't think you can give right now, hey, don't worry. There's lots of ways you can give throughout the year. It's not just simply one time of the year. As I go ahead and try and get this guy up out of here, we'll try and get this unlocked here for you so we can get these pulled out. There we go. And we can get you some audio. Maybe a little wind, but we can get you some audio from the field as well. But again, there's many ways to give, many ways to take part in how you take this in. And so whether it's going to the Strikeout The Stigma, if you head out strikeoutthestigma.org, you can go ahead and donate 24/7, the Green Bandana Project and more. A lot of great things for you to get in touch with, and we'll talk about all of that as we continue on here today. But as we take a look, again, this is going to be a scrimmage, so we're going to see a lot of different people coming up here. City High will start things off with Carson Newton, and he will be the one to start things off offensively with the pitch. First fire outside for ball 1. And again, as we sit here, again, I got Jay Wannell, the guy who runs the ship there at Dugout Sports. And again, Jay, always appreciative to have you here because I like what you bring to the table, not only from the standpoint of what these teams are going through, but you know what it's like on the club scene. You know what it's like all over that. And that, thankfully, we have our netting there, as you could hear. But nonetheless, a whole lot of fun here in store. And again, Jay, always appreciative as that one sails just outside. Not quite catching the black ball, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see a lot of these kids from a different perspective all winter. See the work that they put in, and now it's time for them to go have some fun and do what they've been working so hard in the off seasons at.
Ball 4 is had as that will be the first trip onto the base pass here for Newton. And that will look to bring up Jake Mitchell, who will be camped out in left here for this contest. This, again, 4 innings, so 4-inning battle here between these two squads. A lot of fun here. And, again, you can catch all the different games going on right now. Again, all of them 4 innings each. And so you get the chance to kind of catch a lot of great action at once. And the pitch, that one goes outside. That's ball 1 to start off Mitchell's at bat here. But again, the City High lineup looks as follows. You saw Newton and now Mitchell, followed by Dominic Salibi, who we mentioned as one of the up-and-coming big names to watch on our list here. So make sure to check that out as that one fired in for strike 1. After Salibi, Drake Obermuhl will be up. He will be doing the duties in right. Salibi at third. Max Waldschmidt will be the DH, and he'll be followed by Owen Hicks at second. Jackson Schroeder at first, and then followed by the catcher, Cale Kurtz. By the shortstop, Cale Kurtz, and then the catcher, Aiden Wetmore. So again, we'll look to have some more interviews and conversations here as we go throughout our time. And as always, don't forget, give us some comments, thoughts, more, anything you have, because we would certainly love to see what you've got, what you have to say, and more. As that one gets away from him, the runner gets all the way to second. So Newton will not only get the walk, but he'll get a stolen base credited to his line as well early on. So we have a runner on second. And, of course, Mitchell up at the plate. Mitchell, the number 2 hole hitter in this battle. Again, Iowa City High here, Jay. I love what this lineup is bringing. I love what they can possibly do as that one goes in for a strike thought ball, but strike 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a really nice lineup. Obviously, the preseason rankings, to show for that. But it'll be exciting to see. They got some young guys mixed in with some veterans, and it'll be a good season. Exciting to see them and their style of play.
That one's fouled off out of play. Our first foul of the season here, unofficially, we'll say. Everything's going to be unofficial here at this point here. But obviously, Coach Mitchell has done a great job there. It's been a lineage there, and it's really kind of cool to get to see some of his own come out through the ranks, as we have already seen, and we'll see again here. But, Iowa City High, they were very impressive last year, making it all the way to the state tournament as that one gets swung on, and Mitchell will be set down on strikes.
Yeah, something you don't see a whole lot from Jake, but strike out there, and maybe nerves, opening the season for Marion, just calm down now after, the walk and then 3-1 and then being able to battle back and strike him out there.
And up next will be Dominic Salibi, number 9, as we talked about. He had a good outing last year here, Jay. A good season last year, and ultimately he kind of rose among the ranks of some really talented guys on that roster.
Yeah, absolutely, he did. And I mean, obviously, there's a reason Coach Mitchell's got him hitting in the 3-hole, and here early, and obviously, with a base open, probably not trying to pitch around him, but that'll be something that he'll see, and he'll go through that a little bit this year with trying to bases open and pitching around him a little bit, or at least being a little bit smarter.
As that one will dive in for a strike here. That was kind of an interesting one there too. this is a squad last year. Again, we'll highlight what Marion's got coming up here in the next half inning, but this is a squad last year that really seemed to be, I guess, opportunistic. And we got the chance to see them against Western Dubuque, and man, they made the most of it. It didn't look pretty at times, but certainly they made the most of it, and that's what we can only hope for here. But gosh, it seems like the last several years, making the state tournament, getting close, as that one is swung on empty. That was another inside pitch for strike 2 on Salibi. Now we have a 2-2 count with 1 down.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the style of play that they, the way that they go about it, I think that's going to be successful, and then being able to get hot at the right time, and you're always in the game, good pitching and defense, and those are the things I know that they, they really harp on it at City High, and obviously that's part of the success that they have.
And again, Salibi last year as a sophomore, 43 hits. He drove in 34 runs, 72 total bases on the year for him. Again, an integral part, despite the loss of Drew Carlson and DJ Hodges, this is still a team that's really going to be exciting to watch, as that one is hit high, and that may very well be a major league pop-up there into the gap at right center. But come on in. That will allow the runner to take off to third, as Newton will slide in easily there, but not
good
without
by,
2 outs.
Yeah, good catch by Trey Frank out there in center field. That's a tough ball with the wind here.
And again, now we have 2 down here as Salibi flew out. And Obermuhle will step up to the plate. Again, Drake Obermuhle. We know that name very, very well. For those who are Iowa Hawkeye fans in general, you know that last name very well. A good lineage there. But certainly we're going to have kind of a new look here. And again, Drake looking at stats, didn't have much of an offensive presence last year, but knowing the lineage that he comes from, as he shoots that one right side, foul.
Oh, just foul.
But it's really, really kind of cool. I almost like that in a sense, just a bit better here, Jay. I know that, again, from a preparation standpoint, no, we would love to have this guy's stats already ready to go and like that, but I kind of like seeing him come through. This is kind of the season where he'll come through, and he's gotten his chance, and he's biding his time just like everyone else here, and now has an 0-2 count.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's ready to make a name for himself here.
That one shot right side. Nice job on the pickup. And the first baseman will take it in for out number 3. So just like that, there was a runner on the base pass. All the way to third goes Newton, but unable to come through with the run on that one, so they will come away without anything here in the top half of inning number 1. And we're going to have more coming on up. It's Talon Young looking to do the pitching duties for Iowa City High, as he will be the one on the mound. We'll join him coming on up in just a bit after this. He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the wall. You have got to be kidding me. Fireworks. And here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here again as we continue to roll along, don't forget this show and this broadcast brought to you in part by the great folks at RDA Financial, Hitting Approach, Victory Mounds, and of course, can't go without mentioning also the great folks at Insolites at insolites.com. Check them out today at inslights.com. All right, so here we go. The Marion lineup will look like this. It'll start out with Jake Miller, one of the preseason favorites individually in the infield, as he takes a look at us at a Roland Breaker in there for strike one. He'll be followed by Isaiah Scott at second, followed by Trey Frank, as we mentioned, out there in center field. Isaac Scott in right, followed by Peyton Hodges in the 5-hole at first base. And you have Caden Giffner at left field, followed by Cade Madden, and DH. Austin Goodrich at third, and Elijah Scott doing the catching duties. And Dakota Johnson is the pitcher for Marion. And that one by Miller kind of just fouled back harmlessly. 1-2 now the count. And again, we are live here from Prospect Meadows near Marion, Iowa. What a great venue this is. Perfect game fields. And we are on CRST field, to be exact, as that's where our location is. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just this broadcast that will have you all kinds of fun, but you can also catch up as the 2-2 sails just outside of the zone. Full count now. You can catch little videos. You can catch photos and a whole lot more just by heading to rockfin.com. You can catch out all that and check us out on social media, as that is strikeout number 1 here for the Iowa City Hurler on the mound, Talon Young, as that one goes down as a strike to bring up Isaiah Scott to the plate. And again, that one kind of diving in there. And again, we have absolutely beautiful fields. Again, wonderful turf fields. That one goes for ball 1. And that one's fouled just right for a strike 1. So a 1-1 count. Now, Jay, I also wanted to just, of the many myriad of topics here that I really wanted to touch base on here is, the fact that as we sit here, man, we get to use these kind of fields and these kind of facilities really plays well, and I think it's really fun overall to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great complex out here, and obviously we're very fortunate in the area to be able to use them, and obviously starting the season off, maybe at some point they could go back to having the preseason tournament, but with the association and limiting the games and all that stuff, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But eventually maybe that would be something that would be cool to turn this event into a full-fledged tournament.
And speaking about full-fledged, not quite full-fledged, I'll say. Frank didn't get the full-fledged of that one. Young's pitch didn't quite break enough, so he is hit by a pitch. And that will continue the run here. Again, 2 down. All right, as we continue to roll along, again, it looks like here, and again, a lot of things going on at once, so just bear with us on some of this. But I believe Frank was the one hit by pitch, and if that's so, Isaiah Scott is the one that shoots that to right field for out number 3.
A couple pretty well hit balls there for Marion, but nothing going.
And that is the way we wrap up inning number 1 here. And again, a fun one there. We're going to kind of keep it here as we keep on rolling on, and we'll have a lot of different people here for you to talk with, and a whole lot of fun here as we get ready and set for the top of inning number 2. Again, Andrew Brown and Jay Wannell here joining us as we get the chance to have a lot of fun here. So as all can be. This is kind of one of the I think the best way to intro a season, because again you get to see a lot of these guys, and it is only a scrimmage, but man, it's that first taste here, and for these guys you mentioned early on, what a joy it is for them to kind of be able to get that early taste and against such high-level competition.
Yeah, that's right. Knock the rust off, maybe a little nerves for some of the young guys, and the older kids, their way to get the season rolling, and obviously, like we always talk about, they can take a lot of things away from this, and some things that they can do the rest of this week and practice before they really get fired up next week.
Yeah, and no doubt about that. Certainly a lot of fun either way, however you dice it. Again, you take a look at Marion's schedule. Again, never quite easy here. And again, last year they started off right off the bat with 4A, and then with Iowa City West, Xavier, North Scott. And that could very well be, again, it seems like every one of these teams here goes through that kind of a schedule, and they start off just like that again this year. Iowa City West at home, and then they travel to Xavier before coming back to take on a doubleheader against now conference foe Grinnell. Grinnell making it into the WAMAC, and so they're going to battle a conference foe there. And then South Tama on the 23rd is where they will end up with the rest of that schedule, and of course more than that for sure. But again, that is how Marion will look to start their schedule here coming on up.
I think some of these schools that have a rich tradition of baseball, and they've had the success. I think you just look at their schedule, their non-conference schedule, and that just tells you a lot about the program and and the coaching staff and the things that they're trying to accomplish. They're trying to play the best teams that they can, and trying to get those 4A schools to play them, and those types of games only make them better in the long run. So it's cool to see those guys going up against the bigger schools and and still having success.
Oh yeah, and I agree. And there's so many instances of that, and we see so many guys and so many coaches that go, what, if my team ends up 3-20, so what? We're going against some of the best teams. That was 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and a nice job to get the out there.
Yeah, really nice to see settle in, second inning, get a quick one to lead it off.
Again, Walschmidt was the one who ended up suffering the strikeout. And, of course, we now continue on. Jackson Schroeder up at the plate here. His first pitch dials in with a strike here. Again, those first pitch strikes, I don't think you can say enough about them. It's certainly as you go through, I mean, that does put the pitcher obviously in the heart of things. And you work with some of the best pitchers that are currently right now. Shout out to everybody who's gone through Dugout Sports. But kind of your part, your take on when you get in there, first pitch strike, how crucial is that in the long run?
Cal Eldred always says that is the best pitch, for a pitcher. So.
As that one shot right side into the gap, and that, I'll say sayonara to that one. That one's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Taken out to right center field, right around the 380 mark. Nicely done there as we get the first run of the game.
Good swing right there. Got it up a little bit of wind, and good swing.
And the celebration there, rightfully so, and deserved there as that one is shot up. And now we have a 1-0 mark here. City High up on board again. That was Schroeder with the home run to right center field. Bringing up Cale Kurtz, the shortstop, up to the plate here. You will take a look at ball 1 to start his at-bat here. Again, 1 down. We have a 1-0 count here. It's already 1-0 in favor of Iowa City High. 4-inning stretch here, and I'm glad you could join us and make this a part of your day. Again, now we have a 2-0 mark here. And top of inning number 2. That one dialed in. 3-0. So from starting with a 3-pitch strikeout, we've gone to a home run and now a 3-0 count. Again, a lot of these guys getting some first-time action here. Cale Kurtz last year had 12 total hits on the season, and he did so through 59 at-bats. He gets the walk there as he gets a chance to get onto the base pass for the first time here today. Again, a Jackson Schroeder one-run blast is what got us to a 1-0 mark so far. And as again, we have a runner on first here. And again, that will bring up Aiden Wetmore. And now the stolen base is pretty simple. You don't have to slide on that one. Nicely done there. It kind of seemed like there was some pressure there, Jay, a little bit anyway.
Yep, absolutely. Those are the things you're going to see from City High, putting pressure on the defense. They like to run, hit and run, and it's just that style of baseball. And like I mentioned earlier, those are the things that make good high school teams. There he goes, taking
off the third, and the throw safe. Not quite. Nice job on trying to get to that mark there, but again, you mentioned it. That's kind of what's in order for this, and obviously you can tell here. You can tell here what Kurtz is doing here. He gets a walk and then technically 2 stolen bases in that one.
Yep, absolutely.
So the runner on third, that one dials in for strike number 1. So a 2-1 count here, and again a runner on third. Top 2. Iowa City High already with a home run thanks to Schroeder earlier on, Jackson Schroeder. And that one dials in. A nice 2-seamer, found that outer black. Man, that could be one of the more dangerous pitches that you'll ever see there. If you are looking out and, man, you look at past out of the strike zone and it dips in, man, that can be tough.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you're not looking away and in that count.
Now it's a 3-2 count. Mark it full with a runner on third, and that runner, once again, is Cale Kurtz. Oh, and we have a stoppage of play. Again, all these fields are kind of right next to each other and all kind of in that circle. Softball fields, I believe, similar way, but we're up here on the upper echelon of it. And again, a lot of fun here with this. And it's a cool thing. Normally you wouldn't get all these at one setting maybe. That one is a slow roller out there to short, picked up nicely, and the fire over there to first will get the out, but the run does score.
Yeah, so, good at bat right there. The infield's back with 1 out and it's going on the ground. So good at bat, good team at bat, and City High scores another run.
So the sacrifice, if we can call it that, sacrifice RBI, and now we continue on with more here. And again, looks like we go to the top of the lineup here with Carson Newton, who had a walk and made it all the way to third in his first trip up. The 0-1 is now 1-1. That one shot left side, a bouncer, but in foul territory.
Next year we need to set up shop right down there.
You know what? That just may be what we get to do. Of course, next year as well, might look to do a whole different setup as well. We're looking to try and get as many as we can, and so we're looking to just have a lot of fun and talking to players, talking to coaches, really having an all-out time that we can here. As now that goes to 2-2 with 2 down. That one right up the middle, takes off his glove. Nice wherewithal to pick up and throw. Johnson had to do all he could on that one. That was called being an athlete right there.
Yeah, which, pitchers aren't always called that. I always tease some of our guys, but, that was a nice play right there.
So 2 runs score, 1 on a Wetmore RBI sacrifice, and the big one on a huge Jackson Schroeder 1-run shot. That will give the lead here to Iowa City High as we head down to the bottom half of inning number 2 when we resume action. But for right now, as we continue on to talk about more of this great stuff, again, don't forget to check out the great folks at RDA Financial. Now, RDA Financial helps to bring us our prospect planner piece with Chad Erickson. And again, they know money up and down. You don't need to get into the specifics. They know every bit of it. They know the specifics, so you don't have to. And really, the great thing is they know baseball. They know the community, and they're ingrained with it. So if you get the chance, check it out. There's probably an RDA Financial member a part of anything or whatever the community is doing. So make sure to check that out today, and check them out today at RDA Financial online. Again, also brought to you by Hitting Approach. Hitting Approach is the #1 app you can get. I mean, truly, all you have to do is pick, place, watch it work, and it has great stuff, including post-game reports ready for you right when the game is done. All right, so as we continue along here,
Peyton Hodges leading it off.
Peyton Hodges is indeed leading us off. A foul out there for strike 1. Peyton Hodges, I believe, kind of went through the ringer of a little bit of injury, and kind of just that's always something when you have a game like baseball where you obviously have to use a whole lot of your body. It kind of, there is some question marks, but certainly great to see him back at it as that one evens up the count now at 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Marion's they're missing Grayson Kirsch right now with a little bit of a knee injury, but nothing too serious, and he's going to be back here in a couple of weeks, so that'll be a big bolt back for them and their lineup.
So 2-1 count as we're just paused briefly here with ball.
Another foul ball.
Another foul ball here, and so far I think we got 2 of them. So I know that we haven't distributed enough out to the rest of them, Jay.
We have not, as you say that.
There it goes. That one won't quite find a field, but it will be foul, and that will even it up now at keep it at 2-2. Again, Peyton Hodges at the plate here. Again, didn't have as much time last year. Again, just kind of going through some injury bugs, but get through it. Still got 15 hits across of it, as that one sails outside to max out the count 3-2. But you got to think this is a kid who has the capability of doing a whole lot of damage here, and you got to be really careful not to give something easy to hit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
as that one will go for he didn't give it easy to hit and not hittable much at all, and that will be a walk.
Let's see what Marion does here, right? Leadoff hitter on, and see what see if they're going to put him in motion, or just like City High, right? They like to hit and run and put some pressure on the defense. Griffith
at the plate. Caden Griffith, the left fielder. He will pop that one. A 2-hopper there, picked up cleanly. The fire to first, but off the glove. That will be a safe call, and now we'll have 2 runners on here for Marion. Nice job out there. I mean, ultimately, Talon Young tried to do the best he could out there. Hicks doing the best he could to try and corral that, but that was kind of that bang-bang play, and now you have 2 runners on, and you have nobody out. And so
first
now
baseman's in here. Yeah, he squares the bunt. Strike 1.
Cade Madron up at the plate. He is the designated hitter in today's contest. In this contest anyway, 1-0-1 count here with 2 runners on. Again, Talon Young.
Picked a second. Good idea.
Nicely done there. Young was he was the man pitcher last year for this squad. I mean, 50 strikeouts overall, and he did so through 62 innings pitched. That one popped up, not quite playable as that's off the screen there, and now an 0-2 count.
I will see what they're going to do here. They leave it on, or Coach Fish down coaching third.
He's always been one to never shy away from
Yeah,
things.
That's exactly right.
You know, I think I've seen him make some 0-2 calls, and they've panned out. Some haven't, but man, he is certainly not afraid. As that one will find the outer corner, and that will be a strike here for Madden as he goes down on K's. That's the second of the game here for Young, and that'll bring up Austin Goodrich. And that one will go in for strike one here. Again, thanks for joining us here from Strikeout The Stigma event. What a great day. It's great weather for this. Absolutely love it. It's absolutely perfect here as that 0-1 dives in for strike two. 0-2 now the count. So this is really kind of a fun time, ladies and gentlemen, if you get the chance to come out and give to Strikeout The Stigma. As even the great Ben Zobrist said, there's not really anything quite like it. As that one, he tried to go with that slider there, just broke too far out of the zone, ball one. But
yeah, that was a really cool event Friday night, having Ben speak, and he did a really, really good job, and cool to see all the teams, all the kids there, and then even some teams that aren't playing tonight were there at the event. So it was really neat.
And that goes for out number 2 as the third strikeout of the game here for Young. And that'll bring up Elijah Scott. He's the catcher in today's contest.
It's big time right there, right? First and second, no outs, and he goes back-to-back strikeouts, and he might get himself out of this.
Two-hopper to the right side. Nice pick up there at first. Good job there at first here by Hodges. That was first base by
Schroeder.
Yeah,
nice,
Schroeder.
Nice play.
Nicely done there. That'll get it out. And, hey, we still stay at that 2-0 mark here as we continue on. And as we continue on to talk about more of this great stuff. Again, if you get the chance to come on out here, again, a lot of great teams involved here. And, of course, of all the great teams, as we mentioned, Ben Zobrist being a guest speaker here. There's also Hidden in Plain Sight Experience. You can go ahead and check that out. It's from 4 to 7. Again, adults only, I would say. As I read down, I got to say, it's adults only. It's an experience that walks you through a typical teenage bedroom, and inside the bedroom, there's a whole lot of stuff to uncover. So a lot of fun if you can get the chance to get in there. And, again, it's only for adults there. As we will continue on here. Again, we have the top here of inning number 3 and a 2-0 ball game. And again, you got myself, Andrew Brown, and Jay Wannell joining us here as, again, we're going to start to get some new guys into the mix here and kind of see all of what we might find out. And again, Marion is in the dark. Well, I would say the black is dark. So they are in the black uniforms there. And it looks like Cole Goodrich is going to be the pitcher now here for the Wolves. And last year, he had a pretty solid outing. It was a 1-0 record, 14 innings pitched. He did put up 8 strikeouts, and he did not record a single walk throughout his time. So some good command there from the youngster there. And that, again, that's with a freshman. That's with a freshman demeanor and everything like that. So it really goes to show that in the schedule that the WAMAC provides, if you can come out even through 14 innings like that, you've done something right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You pound the strike zone, and you don't give up free bases, and you're going to put your team in a good position to win. So.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, here we sit. Again, it's Iowa City High taking on the one and only Marion Wolves. So both these teams doing really strong. Carson Newton looking to jump back up here for Iowa City High. Who's, again, they are doing so far on the leaderboard right now. 2-0 is their lead. That one's sliding in there for strike one to him.
Right on point, right? First pitch strike and getting ahead early.
And the 0-1, that one slides just outside, wisely laid off at 1-1. Again, Newton last year, 27 hits across his 83 at-bats, and he had 29 total bases under his belt. As that one will be fouled back out of play, and that'll make that a 1-2 count. Again, we're starting off the top of the third here. Again, in case you missed it, Schroeder for Iowa City High took the ball deep just past the 380 mark in right center field for the first run. And then after a walk and 2 stolen bases by Kurtz, it was followed by Whitmore sacrifice RBI, and he ended up making it 2-0, which is where we stand right now.
That ball's hit well.
That one is hit pretty high. That one's going up there, but that will be camped out. Nicely done out there in left, as that will bring out number 1 onto the books, and that will look to bring up Mitchell back up to the plate. Again, Mitchell last time up, struck out. He'll lay down a bunt this time. Nicely done. The slow roller has only the catcher to take action. And looking to see, it looked like he was safe on that one. We'll have to check out.
Yep, infield hit.
Yeah, infield hit on that one. Nicely done. So a bunt single on that one will now bring up Salibi back up to the plate. Salibi had to fly out his last time out. So again, with 1 down here.
Guessing he's going to put him in motion or something here. I know
Salibi
swing
with
away.
strike 1 there. And you'd think so. Right now, kind of that time to do that, right? It's time to get out there and, maybe have a little bit of a challenge to it. Do something you may not do in the course of a normal game.
Yeah, absolutely. There he goes.
One taken off is Mitchell. The throw to second. The 2 bouncer will arrive in the glove, but not in time. Mitchell gets credit with the stolen base. So a pretty good outing so far from him, as he has a bunt single and a stolen base. So he's on second. So a runner in scoring position with 2 strikes now here on Salibi.
Love to see the aggressiveness. Kurt Vitance coaching third and puts a hit and run on there. And
the pitch, that one nicely done. That one had a light break to it, and nicely done to get the strikeout on Salibi. So Salibi gets set down on strikes, and that will be 2 outs here. And that will bring up Obermuhle back to the plate. He had recorded out his last time up.
Got lots of Hawkeye blood running through a lot of these kids. Coaches, that ball's hit.
That one's hit on a rope out there to left, but nice job out there in left, as that will be again. Griffith to take that one, and nicely done. Kind of track that all the way down for the out. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take just a quick break here as we get all things set up, and we will be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the ropes. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. And here you go. He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the left side. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back here inside the broadcast booth. Andrew Brown, Jay Wannell, as we continue to roll along here. We continue to go now into the bottom half of inning number 3. And appreciate you coming along for the ride here. A lot of fun here yet. Again, we are at Strikeout the Stigma event. Make sure to catch up if you're around the area, please do, or check out Strikeout the Stigma wherever you can and get on board. And again, because it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of ways that you can give, and we'll go ahead and chat about all of that and more as we continue to roll right along here. The inning starts out with a foul. That one looks to be the first foul into another field here on our end. So that was the first one that we've had. So the 0-1 pitch and now the delivery. That one sails just outside. Now we can make it an even 1-1 count. And Miller up at the plate here, struck out last time, puts a bunt down. That's a nice one, a 3-hopper to the pitcher, and a fire from the mound. Nicely done. Looks like he nabbed him there. Well done on the mound here. We'll look to get you, looks like Lawson Burnt, the junior, who last year had 10 innings pitched as he put up 7 strikeouts in his limited action. Now we have one out here, an empty count as we continue now. Isaiah Scott, who had out his last time up as well. So an 0-1 count, and now the delivery. That one a little too low, evens it up at 1 apiece. Again, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, check out more IA Baseball content on Rockfin. Just head to rockfin.com/IA Baseball for all of our great lists, including underclassmen, sophomore standouts, and more. That one shot right back up the middle on a need and fired from the hop. Nicely done to get the out, and that is out recorded number 2. Nice job by Kurtz to kind of pick up on a hop. He had to kind of hop well off his knee to do that. So nice job there for the second out. And that'll bring up Trey Frank to the plate. Frank was hit by a pitch his last time up. And the pitch, that one swung on for strike 1. 0-1 count here. There you go for strike number 2. And again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, this is brought to you by Hitting Approach. Make sure to check out Hitting Approach for everything, man. And they got quite a bit here for you as the 0-2 pitch now just sails just a bit outside, and that will make it 1-2. Hitting Approach gives you post-game reports, analysis, graphs, charts, and more, plus questionnaires for your players to utilize all right after the game so they can digest it, take it in, and do more with it as that one's shot left side. Nice pickup and shot over to first. Nicely done for out number 3. So City High off of Hicks is out there recorded and now keeps Marion off of the scoreboard here. We will now travel to the do or die inning number 4 here in this 4-inning scrimmage. And we appreciate you coming along for the ride. Hey, we have a whole lot coming on up here, more, and we're going to look to talk to some of the individuals that make this great event possible. Shout out to Nikki Freese and company who do such a great job here at Strikeout The Stigma. And again, if you get the chance, just thank them for what they do. I mean, that's a serious thing. Thank them for putting on this event here. One, selfishly, I like it because we get to have baseball right now. We don't have to wait that much longer. We get baseball now, and it comes with such a cool meaning behind it. And so many cool meanings behind it. So really appreciate that and more. So we're going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more coming on up. Inning number 4, Iowa City High up on top of the scrimmage, 2-0 when we return. He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the race. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the race. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue on here, we start with 1 down here in this half of inning number 4. And as we continue on, again, we talked about all the great people that help in making this possible, not just Strike Out the Stigma, but mental health in general is a big, huge deal. And we've seen it, unfortunately, impact a lot of us in a lot of negative ways, but some positive as well. And we're going to talk about all that and more with Aaron here of Album Health joining us. And Aaron, we caught you on last year as that one is fouled out of play, but really appreciate you coming back on and talking some more with us.
Great to be here. Excited to be back at the event. Wonderful event. Keeps getting bigger and bigger. And
yeah.
baseball looks good this year. So great to be out. Beautiful day.
And I want to first talk on, we're sitting here, Strike Out the Stigma is, again, surrounding the stigma of the mental health being anything less than vitally important. Mm-hmm. And I know that so many times as athletes, you kind of sit there and it's kind of been bred into a lot of us, don't say, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, as that one is fouled back out of play for strike 2. But, this is something where it's much more than that, and we're starting to see more and more conversation of it. But, again, I think sports is a great way. It is a great way to kind of showcase how mental health is important.
Absolutely. I think you said sports showcases mental health, and I couldn't agree more. I think, any given play, the pitcher, number 24, I don't know his name, but walking back he's thinking something right now.
Yep.
If he is paying attention to what he's thinking, whether it's positive or negative or neutral, it's going to affect this pitch right here. Yeah. If he went back and said, I see the spot, I got it, boom, there he was.
And he got it.
So you get really quick reinforcement around your mindset and how you're doing emotionally shows up each play, each pitch. So there's nothing like sports to just show you how important mental health is.
There's no doubt about that. And again, I think going back to the importance of mental health, this event has certainly struck on a lot of different ways in which highlighting, again, the importance of it. But I think the conversation has increased such to a point that now this is just as serious as ever. Yep. And how How have you viewed the progression in terms of having that conversation more and more, and people just being okay with it and safe with it?
Yeah, I'm an old man. So at 52, when I grew up, it wasn't even a thing that we even knew existed. It was never discussed. I guess, in the background we had some idea, but now you fast forward, to 2024, and I think these athletes here have grown up with many, LeBron James and Michael Phelps and Gabby, I forget her last name, the gymnast.
Yes.
Gabby.
I want to say Marshall, but that's not it.
No, it's not Gabby Martin. But nonetheless, athletes come out and they're very comfortable talking about anxiety and depression and their struggles and substance use, all the things that fall within that umbrella. People have taken roles and come out and are very open about the conversation, and I think parents are getting much better at doing that as well, to where that's expected, that you talk about mental health and you talk about emotions and feelings. It's just becoming more and more the norm. And then you're at an event here and you see all these teams and you see all the messages and people supporting the why of mental health, and it's great that it's made such a transition to being pretty normal. And pro sports, I mean, most teams have sports psychologists on staff.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Royals have one on the bench. Most NBA teams have multiple. University of Iowa has many. So it's just everywhere, and I think that's great.
And as that looks to be the final recorded out here of this half of the inning, as we will continue on. But also, I do want to mention here is, again, this is a 4-inning scrimmage. So once the 4 innings have come and gone, then that will be the end of it here. But we will look to continue on here for the bottom half. As again, we sit here from Prospect Meadows. What a great place and a great venue too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get enough. Every time I come here, it just amazes me all the detail that's put in place. And again, you talk about having a good mental mindset. How could you not here at a place like this?
This is vintage Iowa, right? You look around, and they probably planted soy all around here, or corn. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's too early to tell.
I don't know what cycle they're on.
But beautiful venue, and I like the walking and the areas up top where people are kind of hanging and talking to each other. It's kind of conducive to being social and watching the game. So yeah, it's really neat.
How big is that in the grand scheme? You see a lot of anytime I see a lot of those individuals who have struggled, it seems like they're not talking a lot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How important is it just in the social aspect to really help that mental health?
Oh, social is one of those 6 core things that you really need to be doing to take care of yourself, is having quality relationships, making sure you're spending time with other people. There's nothing better than being outside in nature too, taking in a sport that you enjoy. So it's something that, we all need to do every day. We need to, sometimes you just don't feel like doing it, but you just have to do it. And when you do it, you feel better.
Yeah, I know. As you can tell, I feel a whole lot better when I'm talking. So I'm as happy as can be right now as I continue to.
You seem it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's again one of the things that I love is all the great organizations that have come together to help. This Album Health is a big part of that. Take us through Album Health, and as that one gets hit pretty high, but that's playable out there in center, as that will be recorded for out number 1. But take us through Album Health, how that came to be, and just kind of the purpose that they bring.
Yeah, Album Health is an Iowa-based company. We're from Des Moines, and we help people with self-management. So we put in the athlete, the team. We work with populations, employers, teams, and then, of course, individuals. With self-management, we're putting all the tools in people's hands to take care of their mental health, and it starts with a score. So you're checking in and you're knowing how well you're doing, 0 to 100, and then we develop over time very specific actions and behaviors like socializing that we just discussed that you understand moves the needle on your score. So we make it really simple to take care of yourself mentally. It's an app form.
Yep.
Go ahead and download it at the App Store. But that's really the name of our game. And we look forward to really getting more and more into the sports realm and working with teams, because what we know is that as mental health improves, guess what happens? Your team has more wins.
I love that.
There's a clear correlation with performance. So excited to move into that more and more.
As we now sit here with 2 outs, still a 2-0 lead here. As the swung on here, strike number 1. And again, as we have Aaron from Album Health talking a whole lot about not only what we're here to talk about, Strikeout the Stigma, but just mental health in general, always important and always worth having a great conversation. And nowadays here, it seems like there's so many ways that you can get help where needed.
Yep.
It's no longer you have to find a location to go to. You can go ahead and let it come to you. And I think that if you're still kind of scared around that, I think that's a good point, Aaron, to kind of go through the different ways that mental health can come to you.
Yeah. So, you can improve your mental health in many ways. Things like self-management. You can go to our app and you can go to the App Store and download it. There are many apps that are really important and helpful in improving mental health. And then, you can move into clinical services, counselor at school, counselor outside of school, your primary care provider, your doctor, all are a part of it, and then the spiritual side of things. So you can get support in a lot of different ways. Today, it's never been as accessible given how everything's digital, and we can create something like Album Health and bring it to you. So I think that's a great first place to start, and our goal in our app is to understand how you're doing and point you to the things that you need. And I think that's a good starting point for people is, going through some sort of assessment. Just get a score, understand how you're doing, and then get pointed in the right direction to all the great resources that are out there.
Yeah, and certainly take advantage of it when you can. And again, City High will take this one in game 1 of our twin bill here. Again, 4-game scrimmages here. Again, we have coming on up Marion taking on Cedar Rapids Prairie. We'll have that one here for you in just a bit. But again, down there, 2 amazing coaches. Couldn't ask for 2 guys that I think they also, I think, embody a lot of it. Anytime that certainly we've been around them and we've heard them with their players, I think it's important in those in leadership to also have an idea of, hey, how are you impacting someone else's mental health?
It starts right with those 2. I mean, they clearly are on top of things. I know these are 2 very successful programs. It's important that leadership does, the things that I talked about with you, that they're keeping score, that they're accessing care, and that they're communicating it to, their players.
Well, no doubt about that. And again, we get to see all the little ones rounding the bases here. And I think one of the things too, I've always loved is I love the chance for guys to get out there and kind of enjoy the game as early as they can. Part of the Reds organization there, as you can see. Again, some dapper uniforms. Really
Nice.
do enjoy that.
Yeah.
But again, making sure, ladies and gentlemen, to check this out. Again, get your kids involved wherever you can here. And from Iowa City High, the Reds. But again, as we kind of wrap things up here, again, Aaron, really appreciate as we continue to think through what is, again, an ever-changing world. I mean, we get some new stressors every day. What's some of the general rule of thumbs that you have for people to go out and kind of keep their stress levels low? Ultimately, we've talked a little bit about that. But man, it seems like definitely the stressors of today are not the stressors of yesterday. And so there has to be still a lot we have to do in order to try and keep our sense about us and kind of stay calm.
Yeah, I would say, rule of thumb, obviously do some self-evaluation and self-assessment, whether it's a score like we have your emotional health score or any other inventory, but even simpler, just tune into how you feel day to day. Quiet down, tune in. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Just notice.
Yep.
Then, the basics, move, exercise, eat foods that are nutritious, relate, be around other people, be careful of any substance use. That includes caffeine and nicotine, some of the more we consider benign substances.
Yep.
Getting out in nature, making sure your stress is low, again, tuning into what stress means for you. Is it tightness in your chest? Is it pain in your shoulders? Whatever that is, your stomach upset? I mean, just noticing. It really starts with just noticing, and then those sort of basic steps. I'm forgetting 1 of 6, but those are the basic things that you really need to do. And We can help you do that at Album Health. You know, when you meet with professionals, they'll look at that as well. But it's super simple. I mean, just getting out for a walk in nature, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for that. And doing it with somebody else, even more bang for your buck. So that's a real simple recommendation right there.
Kind of get lost in it, I feel. The more you can kind of get lost in. I mean, obviously, don't get lost in the woods. By no means am I saying get lost in the woods, but
Right.
go for a good hike, kind of get away. And I think too much of it. I know I'll sit here, Aaron, and say technology. You shouldn't be around it all the time. I am around it a lot, but I think it's also important to just kind of take a step back. And thankfully my kids will break any technology I have, so I have to stay away from that. So I kind of have that built in. But I think as much as technology makes our lives so much better, it just seems like, man, that's also could be one of the bigger stressors.
Yeah. There's a lot of research out showing the negative effects of the screens, the phones, the social media, all those things. So it's important to disengage. That might be good point. One of the most important things you can do is put the phone down and disconnect from that. I think that's a really good point to keep that in mind. And looking at these teams here, I love what teams bring. You have goals, you have purpose, you have why, you have meaning, and you're working together as a group, and you're constantly socializing and around other people. That for athletes, it's hard when the day comes to an end, which happens at some point for everybody. That you're not between the lines to make sure that you bring all of those things, that the goals, the why, the relationships, etc., into your life on a day-to-day. And we're really big in the self-management at Album Health, as am I, and just making sure you're doing those little things that bring you that energy and that fire in your belly.
Yeah.
Just like out here, same thing. You're learning lessons here that you need to bring into the rest of your life.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see if we can get everything turned here. Again, I am Andrew Brown right here, and you can see Aaron with me. And again, I love the turn view here. But again, we have coming on up Cedar Rapids Prairie against Marion here in a game 2 of this scrimmage. And again, I think so much of it. Again, I just thank heavens that we get to sit here. It's a great day out. So much of it. And I also, going back to a little bit on the youth side of things, we can sit here now. We're in the high school. We're talking about high school athletes right now. But I think so many times you kind of look and you don't think, at least I have never thought, Aaron, about, okay, how would my 5-year-old kind of take things? You think that so many times they're all just happy, and most of the time they are. But there are a lot of things that maybe stressors, as I have kind of tried to navigate, what is a stressor that I think is obnoxiously, it shouldn't be a stressor, like which shoes do I want to put on?
Right.
Or, which stuffed animal is best to be in my bed tonight? It seems like I thought, man, would that ever be a stressor for me? But again, I'm not in the perspective of what a 5-year-old is and what they can take in.
Yeah. No, it is different for everybody. It's important to, you're talking about, really young kids who are at the beginnings of playing baseball, for example, 5s around T-ball, right?
Yeah, T-ball, yep.
Yep, so.
We stole third the other day, but crawling, so we're
you stole third in T-ball?
Oh, yeah.
It's allowed?
Well, I don't know, but they didn't say anything. He crawled there.
Oh, that's funny.
So we're making our way through the rules of how to play the game.
No, but that's the foundation where you as a dad and your kid are having that, here's what sports are going to be about us, and here's what the relationship's about, and you're making the choice to, when he gets in the car at the end of the game, to, are you on his case about something, or are you going to support him? Or are you going to just be, hey, listening to what he had to say about the experience? And I think I say this all the time, that's really the most important thing, is to understand your kid and understand how they're feeling and understand what's going on versus judging and reacting to what's happening, which is where, most people struggle with that. But you're laying the soil right now for that, and to teach those lessons in that primary relationship between parent and child to be, I'm here and I'm supportive, but most importantly, I understand what you're going through. And sometimes it's tough love and challenging, but that's really the beginnings at 5. I remember those days
Yep.
vividly. I'm 52. I remember playing t-ball. I remember how my mom, reacted to me playing t-ball. My
Yep.
dad. I mean, I remember playing, all the kids on my team, the rides home, the shirt.
Yep.
I remember it was the first time I sewed on number 14 myself.
Oh,
Because I
nice.
love Jim Rice from the Red Sox. He was my guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. These are the most important times, those developmental years, to just develop those good habits, good behaviors, and particularly that strong relationship with your kid.
Yeah. Oh, man. And I think that's goes very well to speak on just kind of how I think a lot of people would like to have life. I know that things get stressful, a lot of things happen, but certainly if we can all pick each other up, that just makes it a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And again,
A nice big hug. You can never beat that.
There you go. Exactly. I always enjoyed that, and as much as I did from my mom, I also enjoyed when Dad gave it. Especially after something went right, or even when something went wrong. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not gonna get yelled at. That feels pretty good.
High five when it goes well.
Yeah.
Hug when it doesn't.
Exactly.
That's about as good as it gets.
Amen on that.
Yep.
Well, Aaron, again, as we continue here, the Strikeout the Stigma event here, I got the shirt on. Thanks again to Nikki Priest and company for helping to make this possible. Again, we sit here, great venue. Anybody get the chance? There's a whole lot going on right now. If you didn't, I loved having Ben Zobrist as a guest speaker, by the way. That was absolutely phenomenal. And then, of course, going on now until 7 o'clock, it's the Hidden in Plain Sight experience. Make sure to check that out for the adults. It's for the adults because it's taking a look at a different perspective, and so it really is a fun time. It's just a very very holistic approach to a lot of different things. So make sure to check that out. And hey, if you haven't gotten out here yet, get out here and have a lot of fun. So
Yep.
Aaron, appreciate it coming along for the ride. Thank you again. And again, ladies and gentlemen, here as we get you back out, the teams are warming up here again, as we can see. Well, from one end anyway, we can see teams warming up out there. Marion warming up in their blacks. And so a lot of fun, Aaron. Appreciate you coming along for the ride here. Thanks again for what you and everyone at Album Health do, because you make this possible, and you make a lot of people's lives better. So appreciate it.
My pleasure, and thanks for having me and having us. It's a great event, and thanks for all the work you do. You do a great job.
Well,
I love your
appreciate
stuff.
it.
Keep it going.
Oh, we sure will. We sure will. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back here. We'll give you a little bit of an intro look, and we'll be back with more right after this. He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the race. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. And here you go. He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the race. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. And here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back here again. We are getting ready for our game 2 of the Strikeout the Stigma event here, live from Prospect Meadows in here, Marion, Iowa. What a fantastic overall event this is, and it truly is absolutely one that you can't really get any better of. And then here again, I'm Andrew Brown. Thanks again for tuning in here and joining us here. And again, I'll take a look at, if you get the chance, A lot of good stuff here, a lot of good material, and got a lot of people to thank here with this one. Again, this is an event, that scrimmage type event that covers 4 innings for both softball and baseball. And there's a whole lot of events that are going on, a lot of tents, and of course some Iowa celebrities like Hannah Stolke and others from the Iowa women's basketball team. And certainly, if you get the chance, go out there, get a signature. And every dollar, I swear, is really more valuable than anything else, right? It goes towards helping out a lot of great causes. This is one of those, and we do want to give a shout out to other great organizations like the Green Bandana Project, the Project Safe, and Prospect Metals as well. A lot of other places as well here again. So again, as we get Jay joining back up on here again, don't forget that you can catch this and more. Across Rockfin. That means more great content and a whole lot more else involved with that. So if you get the chance, please make sure to reach out. And if you get the chance to, just give us some thoughts and more. What have we missed on? Again, we have Cade and mine's list. We do our pitching lists and our offensive lists. And so, any thoughts or more, let us know. And we'd love to catch up on that and go from there. But again, as we continue along, again, this is a fantastic event that you should already be checking out. If you haven't, I would urge you to check it out next year, because this year, you missed out on the great Ben Zobrist if you weren't here, which was an absolute great conversation. We had a great conversation with him that you can catch up on our YouTube page at IA Sports. And again, he mentioned that this is really kind of one of a kind. Not many organizations like this do this and get this big. And certainly, Jay, you've been through this with day one, and you've been with this with us since we've started this. This has grown and grown and grown, and to the point where they're starting to say, "Man, we can't do that. We can't have this many teams because we're getting so big." I think that's a great problem to have, and it showcases what Nikki Priest and company are really doing. It showcases the importance of that. Everybody views the importance of mental health.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's she's really done a great job of growing the event. And, I think as people start understanding what the event is all about, everybody wants to be involved somehow, some way. And, all of the local schools, teams want to play. And, just from a facility standpoint, right, you can only handle so many. But, maybe there's a way to extend it another day or, whatever. I'm sure they've thought about all those things. But it is a really cool event. And, getting baseball and softball included in it, and just having the people here and the resources available, and you're exactly right. It's turned into a really cool event.
No doubt about that. Of course, auction stuff has come to a close right now, but still you can get out there and still have as much fun with this as possible. Again, here we have the beautiful field. This is CRST field here, if you want to go ahead and check out all that there is here on this field and more. And again, so Jay, I also wanted to get your take on something here. You and I have had, I have had some conversations with others, and as we get ready for this game coming on up here, there's been all types of conversations on when to play Iowa high school baseball, when it goes in there. And I just wanted to, I love how when you and I had talked, you brought up good points. And I think that doesn't get talked about enough. I think too many people kind of have it one way. Now, again, whether you like it or not, I mean, there's still value in when the schedule happens, when in moving it here. So certainly if it were to be moved, it certainly wouldn't devalue a whole lot, but there's a lot that goes into here. But I wanted to get you just your take on there, because you've been through it. You've seen both sides of it. And I don't think too many people get that from both sides, both from the school perspective and the perspective that you've had.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you just open up a can of worms when, when you start talking about that. But, I think one thing that, with Iowa, and is the weather, and I think that's always going to somehow play a factor. And I know there's other schools that play in cold weather states, but their high school seasons are 15 to 20 games max, and you just hope that that doesn't happen. I know some smaller schools aren't playing 20, 25 games, but still being able to, for the high schools to play 40 games. For me personally, I would love to see the high schools have more than 2 weeks of practice time before then it's they start playing games, and then they try and shove a bunch of games in. But I think that's a whole nother conversation with the athletic association and the state. But I the other thing, and this is I'm obviously a lover of baseball, and so I don't think that there's enough people, in places and in other roles that are passionate about baseball like I am. And so I think it's, kind of been thrown to the side of high school sports, and it's the one that they can take a week away from the end of the season, and they can let them only practice for 2 weeks before they can play the first game. They're not doing that with football. They're not doing that with any of the other sports, and I totally understand that. But having pitchers and catchers practices only, and expecting then kids to be ready after 2 weeks of practice, I think is just crazy. And then, from a whole nother side of it, you look at the recruitment. Tonight, there's, 2 University of Iowa coaches here, and which is awesome. When their season is over and then the high school is still playing, it gives, them the ability, and other colleges in Iowa, the ability to get out and recruit, and that is a little bit easier. At the same time, than the large travel events where, a whole mess of coaches are at, regularly. Well, then those kids are here playing their high school versus, being on a large travel team or national travel team at some big events. So it's like a lot of give and take. And I think maybe one of the things in Iowa is now that fall baseball has become very, very important for the high school kids, and they can play a little bit of travel. Their high school teams are kind of doing some things together. But I think that's, kind of become an important time for their recruitment and those types of things. But I just don't see it changing. I really don't. I think, like I said earlier, that, just the feelings about baseball in the state and where it's at, it conflicts with track a little bit, right, for the smaller schools. But if they move it up, then it's going to be even more of a conflict. So I think it's kind of in a place where, it conflicts the least amount with all the other sports. And I think that's, kind of why it's where it's at, and honestly why I think it will stay there.
Well, again, I think there's so much, and again, I really think the perspective here, Jay, on that. Again, I think too, you have been, and I think I say that because you've been through a lot, and you've been with top tier. You've done a lot with top tier. Obviously, Dugout Sports is huge. I want to take us through just you a little bit here, and I asked that question to kind of lead into this, really, and you've done a lot over the course of your time from playing to now. I think that a lot of people, once they get done playing, have that question, and we're here at Strikeout The Stigma. A lot of athletes go, well, what's next? And they have a hard time dealing with that. You have seemingly made such a fantastic career out of doing a lot. I mean, you dip your hands in a lot of baseball. I mean, to say that you're a passionate baseball person is an understatement, I would say. But kind of take us through. I think a lot of it, as we talk about mental health, is the next question of why or feeling lost. Did you ever feel when your playing days were done? I know that it's never easy. What was that like, and how did you manage to get to where you are now with Dugout Sports and such?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all players go through that at some point, and you go through it at different times, whether that's, right after, you're done in high school, right after, you're done playing in college. And I was in that exact same situation, finishing up with college, and what do I want to do next? And, obviously I had a passion for baseball, and, so was it coaching? was at the high school level, and then I had an opportunity to play a little bit of independent baseball. So I was playing some pro ball. I was working on my master's, just kind of doing a little bit of everything. I was fortunate to spend a year coaching with Justin Schulte, and kind of learning the game from a whole nother side of it, working with Justin and the responsibilities that he gave me. That year with him taught me a lot about the game. And then I knew I wanted to stay involved, and as my playing career then ended, transitioning into coaching. And it's very difficult, and I see guys at the dugout now that they're going through those times when they're done with their playing careers and moving into what's next. And you're exactly right. You see some really dark and lonely days, but I've just been fortunate to stay in the game, and like I said, coaching the year with Justin, and then just feeling like I was passionate enough about coaching, and continued to coach at the college level, and then moved from coaching in college to opening a facility. And then after opening the facility, actually with Justin's brother Vaughn and another buddy Travis Mueller, that's when we started the top tier organization. And at the end of the day, I think you just try and surround yourself with good baseball people, and you're just trying to make the game better. And in some way, shape, or form, I think we've been able to do a really good job of that. In teaching the game, and just helping kids, and whether that's like you're saying with the mental side and those different things. But the kids are totally different now than when I was a kid, and it's difficult to understand the social media and the tech and the things that they're going through at school, and in their personal lives that I never had to, you never had to, and so it makes it much more difficult for these kids these days. And so I just hope that the facility and these other things give the kids it gives them something else to do, and it gives them another place to be, and associate with kids from other schools, and they have common interests and common goals. And I think it just those places help. And so I think it's very beneficial for kids these days.
Yes, and I think too, as we kind of scan on there, got some really influential coaches, and Coach Fish, Coach Nelson, like that. We was just talking with Aaron at Album Health, how important it is when your coaches also lead that kind of conversation as well. Kind of how has that been for you, and just kind of navigating younger athletes? I know that sometimes everyone's reasonable, right?
Right.
But sometimes, as I kind of figured out with my 5-year-old, even rational things may not be rational, unrational may be rational to them. How was that navigating as a coach? Just kind of, you never know where everyone or anyone's at a particular time.
Right. Yeah. And I think, from the player, coming from being a player, you take the things that, the way that you were coached and the things that you learned in your journey, and that's what you're going to do. That's how you're going to go about it. And I think as you figure out the kids, and the one thing that I really took away from Justin was, you can't cookie cutter anything. And, being able to relate to every kid in a different way. Maybe you do have to be tough on one kid, and, you got to pat the next one on the rear, and just the way that you got to go about it, but you got to have a relationship, and the relationship is what matters, and the kids knowing that you're there for them, and you have the best interest for them. Just like you said, I mean, that's why, Coach Fish is in the position that he's in. He's won a state championship. He's attending kids' weddings and all those things, and those are the positives that come away with being in the role that he's in, and being an influence like he has been.
Yeah, and again, we can't thank enough all the great coaches that Iowa High School has here in the state of Iowa. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Brown and Jay Wannell here on the field. You see again Coach Fisher and Coach Nelson here as we get ready, and we're about to start the second game here of this. And again, Jay, last year We had a few more games to go under that we went through, but it also went really, really fast. And I'm sitting here going, oh, man, we're almost done. The auction has come to a close. What is going on with this? I mean, time travel has to be invented at some point, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We gotta figure out a way they can extend these games and then stagger them so we can do all the teams and see them all.
Well, we're hoping next year, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to do a setup similar to that where you can catch all types of games all at once here on the IA Baseball Network. And, again, really appreciate everybody's thoughts and comments and more. And as always, keep them coming. Again, Jay, as we get set and ready, again, I think one thing to look at is, again, we notice all the teams here. And, again, of all the teams we have Iowa City High, Linn-Mar, Kennedy, we have Prairie, as you can see, Benton, Center Point, Urbana, Clear Creek, Amana, Marion, and West Delaware. Between all of them, 61 total state tournament appearances, especially since the four-class system has gone through. It dates back further than that, though. But 61, of course, tournament record, 42 wins combined in the state tournament from all of these teams. And, of course, as we mentioned, 84 total 20-plus win seasons amongst this group over the past 15-plus years. So, again, you're not getting the scraps. You're not getting the teams that are still developing and still coming out. These teams are there. As we saw Marion, they've come through a championship. They have a lot of good talent here. Again, coming off some injuries, but we saw Iowa City High, again, ranked high in the overall team offense and pitching rankings as well. And so you're not getting any cupcakes, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think it shows you a little bit about the brand of baseball that's over here on this side of the state, and like an event like this, and you're getting good players and good teams to come out to it. So it's really fun, and obviously it's a great event.
Yeah, great event, and that's even coming short as well on that. It's a heck of an event. I absolutely love that and more. So, yeah, and then of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here and also talk, I want to go ahead and mention as well, just briefly, all the great things that take place within Strikeout the Stigma. So many things that you can do. Of course, make sure to go to Give Butter. We'll put this up on our website as well. That's where you get silent auction and more. But also make sure to check out, again, what we mentioned, the Green Bandana Project and Project Safe as well. Make sure to all of those guys. Of course, want to thank Prospect Meadows here. Of course, some wonderful fields here. Of course, Perfect Game Field over to our right. Really want to mention as well Perfect Game as they help out with a lot of things as well. And so again, it's more than just one particular thing. There's a whole lot in there and a whole lot to take on. So we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, here. Again, make sure to head out to Strikeout the Stigma, check it out. If you can't still get here physically, man, check out the website. It's got everything you need there for you. And, of course, if you get a chance, check out Champion Forward. The organization brought forth by Ben Zobrist, former MLB veteran, World Series, 3-time All-Star winner, and certainly a fantastic just individual. So make sure to check that out. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get the start of Game 2 here. Marion and Cedar Rapids Prairie coming up after this.
He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here. Off the You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. He has Here's a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the ropes. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. Here's a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the ropes. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all back inside the broadcast here from Prospect Meadows. And again, that was a good hop out there to third, a nice throw out to first. And that looked to get him here. Nice, a good stretch out there and to get out number one here as we kick off our time here between Marion and Cedar Rapids Prairie. And again, wanted to make sure to everybody to make sure to check out Perfect Game because we have spring and fall leagues here. And I got a special guest with me to talk all about that. Can you speak name here quick and who are you with?
Travis Mueller. Thanks for having me.
Travis, I really wanted to reach out, and I'm glad that Nikki and company got you up here because I wanted to talk one from a standpoint. You run the spring and fall leagues here, am I correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And so again, within Perfect Game, there's a lot that goes on for sure, and certainly a lot including those leagues. Kind of take us through what's the everyday task like for you, and how you kind of put together what a Perfect Game does with their spring and fall leagues.
Yeah. So I was the last state in the country to have summer baseball, as you well know.
Yeah.
So Perfect Game before I came on board decided to do a spring league to just, one, allow these young men to prepare for the rigors of summer baseball, and two, also help out these colleges start to watch some of these kids early because obviously when the circuit or travel baseball starts, they're heavy into high school baseball. So that was the whole goal. And man, it's just blown up. Absolutely blown up. Obviously there's leagues in Des Moines as well. There's our leagues. But the talent that comes through this place every weekend is just insane. My team, for example, has three D1 commits on it, as a sophomore. So, and then you're watching numerous commits all the way across the board. And boy, is it exciting to watch. Very rarely can you come to a ballpark like Prospect Meadows or a complex like this and watch 2 or 3 baseball games with, low to mid 90 guys on the mound every weekend.
Yeah, that gets fun, and you get to see these kids, these students, these athletes in a little bit of a different setting here. And what is it? Do they look a little different, act a little different? Ultimately, this is still the game of baseball, right. But man, these guys, when they come here, they're here to play.
Right, they are, without a doubt. And that's one thing about the spring and the fall leagues with Perfect Game. They're there to play, and they're there to play hard and to prove themselves. And ultimately, hopefully, get a chance to play at the next level. The crazy part is, I've coached a lot of these kids from 9U on up. Actually, I think you just had Jay Wano on. I coached a top-tier team for a couple years. So when you see them, and the whole goal is to, I tell the boys, hey, someday I hope to sit here, have a bowl of popcorn, and watch you guys play high school baseball. And it's come to fruition, and it's really exciting to see.
And again, here talking with Travis, a Perfect Game for the spring leagues and the fall leagues, and I do want to get just your take on the dynamics of each.
Sure.
Obviously you talked about kind of the history behind it and how it came to be. I assume a lot of similarities between the fall and spring leagues, but there's got to be some differences too, and
For
certainly
sure.
in which the way athletes approach in their pursuit of college and everything like that. It's on the face value, you think, man, it's a lot of similarities, but man, a lot of differences.
A ton of differences. So spring is a preparation thing, right?
Yeah.
Pitch counts, just taking it easy a little bit, just getting their timing down. Then they have the rigors of summer baseball. Then fall rolls in. Well, fall college coaches are done,
Yeah.
right? So now you've got colleges walking around watching games. You've got kids that are now juniors being able to talk to. So we go from having games in the spring, sure, to now it's tournaments. Now it's travel ball. Now you've got the top tiers from Chicago coming in. You've got the Wow Factors coming in, or the GRBs from Wisconsin. So you're watching real big boy baseball for sure.
Yeah, and gosh, how fun is it? You're talking a little bit about it there, but you get to see guys come onto the high school scene before they were strong before.
Yeah.
How fun is it to see these guys get there and now move on to the collegiate level and possibly even beyond?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, what does that feel like, knowing that you had a hand in that, but that more importantly, you watched them progress? I mean, I think that's a cool thing when you can kind of watch chronologically how well these guys do.
Absolutely. And, you want them to progress the right way. This event is Strikeout the Stigma, as you've covered with some other people as well. And, you want them to keep a level head on. I mean, ultimately, yes, they want to get to the highest level, but you want them to do it right. One, you want them to.
Nice play out there.
That was close.
That
Play.
That was a close play.
That's a tough, though. They got one umpire on this game,
Yeah,
so you've got the skeleton crew here.
I mean, kudos. That's a tough one. That looked, from our vantage point, like it could have gone the other way. But again, we
Yeah, selfishly, it's my kid that just made the play, so I want him out for sure.
Hey, we want him out too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate
But
that. But what I was getting at is, they put so much stress on themselves. They want to be the best. And I played this game a long time, and it's hard. It's hard to hit a baseball, and they've got to keep things in perspective. They've got to understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. That some of these sophomores that are playing on the field right now, that they want to be at the best of their ability right now. Well, they're still growing. And they've got to keep that in mind. And the beauty of baseball is it's a team. You've got your buddy to pick you up. Heck, I mean, I haven't played in 30 years, and I still talk to my college teammates every day, and I mean, they pick you up. They pick you up whether it's with health or family problems or whatever, a bad golf game, but they pick you up. So I think this event really covers that, that you've got to understand that you need to pick each other up, and it's a team game. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot be in every place all at once.
No.
That certainly gets really tough here as that one flies high for ball 3. Make it a 3-1 count here. And again, as Marion up on board, up on deck here. And then, again, Cedar Rapids Prairie, Marion battling it out here in a 4-inning affair here as the runner takes off to second, has to come on back. But continuing on the conversation, you mentioned it.
Sure.
Certainly a lot of challenges for the athletes. But today you mentioned so many different things when it comes to how they can get distracted and stuff.
Man.
I mean, I'm distracted already,
sure.
and I'm not even an athlete at the moment. So
Right.
It's kind of tough, but again, there's so much that goes through, and so I think giving these kids a little bit more credit, I think, than even when we played the game.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that. Back when I played the game, I had no phone. We didn't have social media, Twitter, X, whatever
Yeah, I
it
don't
is,
know what it's
Instagram.
called
I don't
anymore.
either. I mean, we worried about a girlfriend. Now
Yep.
these kids have a lot to worry about. Their buddies are committing as sophomores, and they want to be that. Somebody roasted them on the internet because their team was ranked higher than theirs. There's a lot of distractions. So, yeah, I mean, you've got to give these kids more credit than what we really do, because they're playing a lot of baseball too. They play in the spring, they play all summer, and then they play all fall, and it's a grind. And man, there's a lot going on. You're exactly right. And I hope parents understand that too. You know, I mean, I get caught up with it. I've got a kid out there, you know, I want him to go 4 for 4, but I get it. I get the game's tough. So rather than, you know, I can't believe he did that, you know, the conversation needs to be, hey, game tomorrow, let's go work on something, you know, hold your head high, because frankly, not everybody plays the game as much as they do, as much as kids want to play this game. As you see, there's 9 kids on that field, you know? Yeah. So being on a team isn't about even playing. It's about contributing in more ways than that, you know?
And again, bases are now loaded here. Again, all loaded up here. Again, Cedar Rapids Prairie taking on Marion here. Says we go ahead for the first inning as we get wrapping this up here. Again, no outs, I should say, so not much of a wrap up at the moment. We still got nobody out, and two runners on here. And again, talking with Travis here of Perfect Game, and again, I love the facilities here, man. I do want to give a shout out as that one is struck left side. Oh, just off of the third baseman's glove, and that will send the runner home. And the play at the plate also off the glove. That will allow the runner to get on home. And we have a 1-0 ball game.
Boy, they had the opportunities there. They could have got one easily, and then they all panicked. Then they sped the game up, and
yeah,
the wheels fell off a bit there.
And I want to talk on that. I know I was going ahead in a different route, but you bring up a good point. I mean, the wheels can come off pretty quickly.
Quick.
And, you've gotten to see a lot of really talented guys. What have you kind of noticed with guys that kind of have a good mind for the game when it comes to when the wheels fall off, how they react?
You got to just clear your head. You got to have a short memory and just move on. You know, I've given a lot of baseball lessons in my life, and the guys that ultimately make it are the ones that can just flush it. They don't show emotion. They could go 0 for 4 and their buddy goes 4 for 4, and they're the first one out of the dugout. They're having one of the worst games of their lives, and they're high-fiving the team like heck, don't worry about it. I got your back. And that's the thing about a team. You always have to have somebody's back, whether you're 4 for 4 or 0 for 4. You've got to be a good teammate.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And when that happens, man, everyone's just happy.
Oh, for sure. And it's easy to be happy when everything's going good.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. As now the ball gets by and runner coming on home, Marion will now, after being blanketed in that first game, come back, and now they have put up 2 early on in this one to make it a 2-0 ball game.
Yeah, this is going to be a talented team this summer. Marion's they got some young kids, they've got some old kids, but they've been playing a lot together, in the past. And boy, I tell you what, that's going to be a fun game this late summer, watching that West Dubuque Marion matchup.
Yes,
if it gets to that.
It is. As that one is put on for a strike 2, evens it up now at 2-2. I think, man, it's so cool to have, and again, the fact that we can put this on, and it's a lot because it's not just some talent, as that one has popped out there to short, a fire across the diamond, and that's how you draw that up right there. Nicely done to get that out, although the run does come across to score, and Marion will be up now by a score of 3-0. But I do feel like it's really something when you have these teams here.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
They're right there, and I say these teams. These are not cupcakes. I told Jay was talking about it as well, and these are teams that have quality, just programs, and that includes from the coaches down to the players, all quality, and of course Iowa has a lot of them. But you get the fact that here we get Cedar Rapids Prairie and we get Marion, Xavier, all of those. Is that one now dives up there, and then we have a 2-2 count. It's really kind of cool in the grand scheme, and I like it, and I know that you get to see it here on a far greater basis than even we do.
Absolutely. It's pretty special. I mean, you could go to every one of these quads and watch a kid that's committed or getting some looks, So it's good baseball for sure. And then these coaches, like you said, I mean, I don't know the number, but I know there's a lot of wins on all 4 of these quads. Heck, all 8 of these quads in terms of coach wins, over the years. Oh. And the knowledge is there.
That one
Fair
is
or foul?
Labeled foul ball.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, the knowledge and the amount of baseball that's being played by some of these kids, it's pretty impressive to watch.
Over 80 over the last 15 years or so, over 80 combined seasons between all these teams of 20 or more wins. And so it's always impressive, and always love that. And again, there's a nice strikeout there.
He needed that one.
Yeah, definitely did. Get that, again, the train can always get put back on the tracks.
Yeah, they're going to have to score to win, but the crooked number early is big for sure.
Well, no doubt about that. So, Travis, again, for those who I think there's a lot of entities out there, not just Perfect Game, it's PBR. There's all kinds of different things out there. Yeah. Perfect Game, I've really come to find, is just one of those that a lot of it, it's really easy, accessible. It seems like it's just it's more of a good atmosphere than anything else. I mean, ultimately, what got you into the Perfect Game world, and kind of where was out of all the travels that you've had?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, this is not my full-time. I have a full-time job on top of this.
Yeah.
Really, I did this. They came to me. They had an opening, and that ball was smoked.
That one is left side. And that will bounce, and that will get to the warning track. That will have to be thrown in, and that will just get away there. But certainly nicely done there, as it keeps the offense rolling here. Kind of an interesting, you saw Marion game one not have much of that offensive player, but now, they certainly are getting a lot of it here as we continue on. In inning number one, nonetheless. And again, as we continue to rock on.
Sure. Sorry about that. But, so they came to me and they had an opening. And ultimately, I just wanted to continue to have something like this for, these kids on the east side of the state. And, I mean, to be honest with you, I have a lot of Des Moines kids come over as well. And it's just a great avenue for them to get baseball games and get a good quality baseball games. So when they came to me and asked me to do that, I said yes. I said, if I have the time, and once you say yes, and for me, once I commit, I want to do it right.
Yes.
So I've really leaned on, the top tiers in the area, some of the other travel baseball clubs in the area, and got some good kids and some good coaches. A lot of my coaches are ex-college guys, and they really, really care about these boys, and they want to, teach the game the right way. So when I did that, it just took off, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been rewarding. It's so funny how now this will be my third year, and I can't go around Cedar Rapids without having a kid say, "Hey, coach, hey, when's fall league start?" Or man, had a great time this spring. I wish we'd had better weather, stuff like that. But It's been really fun to watch. It's crazy because you become emotionally attached to a lot of these baseball players, and then you watch them go play college, or some make it to the pro ball, and it's really, I used to be just a strictly Cubs fan, but now I'm a Marlins fan. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Pirates fan because all these guys, and you follow them, and it's become personal, which is really what this game is. It's a very personal thing to a lot of these kids. A lot of these kids, yes, they're playing together or playing against each other, but I know for a fact there's kids on Marion that play travel ball with kids on Prairie, in the fall. So it's a good, friendly rival.
Yep. And I think it adds a little bit to where you may be on one team one moment and you're on two different teams of the next. And, as that one goes in for strike three, nice job there. And that one will end the inning as we get to inning number two. But, again, as we talk to Travis here in charge of spring and fall leagues here at Perfect Game, I also want to, again, the facilities here. Man, I know that we get Iowa weather, man, is certainly not always fun.
No, it's bipolar for sure.
How nice is it, though, to know that one of the things that you won't have to worry about are necessarily the grounds of it all?
Yeah, no, it's real nice. It's real nice. As much as I wish the wind wouldn't blow here every day, we know we're going to get baseball in as long as it's not 20 degrees and snowing. We're going to get some baseball in, and the parents can appreciate that. I have, it is Iowa Fall and Spring League, but we've gotten to the point where I have Chicago kids, Wisconsin kids, Minnesota kids, Missouri kids all coming up to play in these leagues. So, they feel good about, hey, we're going to drive 4.5, 5 hours, but we know we're going to play baseball, and we're going to play quality baseball. So that's huge. And Jack does a heck of a job here. Jack and Kyle, I mean, they work real hard to make it a friendly atmosphere. We get real good umpires. You know, we have it quality baseball. So these kids really look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing them play.
No doubt about that. Well, hey, Travis, appreciate you coming up
You
here,
bet.
man. Thanks for the time, and, of course, thanks for what you do within Perfect Game, allowing these kids to have these opportunities.
No problem. I enjoy it. Thank you.
Well, perfect, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that was Travis here with Perfect Game. We, again, have a 3-0 game in store for us, and really appreciate, again, Travis coming along. And, again, thank you for joining in. And, again, thoughts, comments, more, let us know, as that one is popped really high and out of play here. Again, now that brings it to 0-1 count. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, more ways that you can give. There's so many ways that you can partake in giving to Strikeout the Stigma. Please do so. Here we are here with. We're here right now again at inning 2 of a 4-inning contest, and you know we're having such a blast here as that breaker gets in, swung on for another strike 2, an 0-2 count. I mean, it's just fun. It really is. You look over there, you see so many people involved with it. I can't thank everybody enough as that one is swung on and strike 3. Nicely done and easy to get around the horn there. Nice job. Again, Cedar Rapids Prairie up at the plate right now. Marion is doing the duties. They have in the field duties, I should say, right now. And the pitch here, that one struck right up the middle from whence it came. And that did not take much. And now we have a runner on first. And again, we have 1 out. As we get all of our stuff in order here. Again, 1 out and 1 runner on here. And again, as we get Jay back into the mix, Jay, again, what we've seen so far is kind of interesting. I mean, we already have quite the difference in Game 1 versus Game 2 here for Marion.
Yeah, absolutely. Got on the board this game and, made it a little bit more aggressive on the bases. But, yeah, definitely a different game here. But Prairie answering back right there. Colin McClintock with a sharp single.
And he takes off to second. Here is the throw. Not in time. That gets away in the outfield. Good job backing up there. Something that's a kind of skill you need to know. Make sure to back up the play. But we got a stolen base. First one of the game here. Again, in a 4-inning contest between these two. But, you know, it was very interesting. We saw Marion kind of get a little best of by Iowa City High, and now they're making sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to come out here and, get knocked around a little bit on these in both of these scrimmages.
That's for sure. 1-1 is the count here. Cedar Rapids Prairie, again, a team last year that did as good as they possibly could within the conference. That one is struck up. That will look to be fielded out there and left, and it will, as that will be played in and keeping the runner there at second here. But Cedar Rapids Prairie, 33 wins last year here, Jay. They unfortunately kind of ran into, an unfortunate ending, but, that was a really heck of a season for them last year.
Yeah, it was. They they pitched it well. They got the timely hitting, and obviously I think that's the same thing they're going to rely on again this year with the arms that they have coming back. That's going to be their driving force for them. They're just going to have to pitch it, and as we talked about earlier, they're going to be aggressive on bases, like Collins stealing there, but they're going to do those little things.
And that one's hit high. That one's left side, but that will look to be fielded out there in left. And we will have the end of that half inning. So nicely done there. Good job defensively as we start to get some more clouds in. And so with that, we are going to take a little bit of a quick break here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back with more after this right here on the iBaseball Network.
He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the left side. You have got to be kidding me. here you go. He has a 1-1 count. That one struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the ropes. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. And here you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we continue on here. Again, on the bump here for Prairie Wartburg commit Wagermeister doing the duties here, pitching duty-wise, I should say, as we get ready and gearing up for the more inning number 2 here. Again, from Prospect Meadows here in Marion. Man, what a great venue here and a great time had. And again, as we step up, we start off with strike one. Wagermeister getting out on front early.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like we talked about earlier, these pitchers just getting ahead early, attacking the zone.
Swing through that one. Looks like Lucas Stearns, if I'm not mistaken on that. Taking a look at strike 2. And now strike 3 there. So a quick 1-2-3 kind of punch gets out number 1.
Yeah, that's what Logan needs. Bounce back here, get a quick inning and hopefully get some runs on the board. Maybe we can get. What do you think about getting one of the Iowa baseball coaches on here?
Oh, that's a must.
I think Mitch Bowe's up here somewhere. We'd be great to have him on. Talk about their weekend sweep.
Oh, wasn't it a fine sweep at that? That's always good when you get a sweep.
That's exactly right. Now Mitch is coaching third, so he can talk about all the different things he's got to do now with the program. So.
Oh yeah, I'm moving on up.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Make sure you ask him about sending Raider Tello.
Oh yeah, well I have to.
Hey, we got to have a little fun here too, right, Andrew?
Yeah, there's always got, hey, not everything is going to come out peaches, right?
That's right. Hey, they won the game, so Coach Heller can't be that mad at him.
No, at least I hope not. Again,
maybe he didn't get any meal money or something.
You know what? Hey, that can bum people out.
I bet you they still had a good spread after the game.
Oh, man, yeah. I would, as that one is fouled back here. Now keeping it at 0-2. Again, we're in the second inning. Marion already with a 3-0 lead. And they did so off a couple wild throws. And, again, great base running.
Good
that
pitch
one
right there.
swung on with that one. That's kind of what you want. And
yeah,
that's a smooth out number 2.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the batter's end, but nice pitching there by Wagenmeister.
Yeah, for sure. For Prairie, that's just like we said. They're going to rely heavily on that pitching staff. And obviously that first inning, the defense failed them, and that's exactly what they need to clean up, to have a successful season.
So 2 down here as we have nobody on.
Marion back to the top right here, right? Is Jake Miller.
Jake Miller, Jake Miller is a guy that we saw last year make some big jumps.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake's, Travis, we talked about earlier, but Jake's a great little player. Was a top tier kid with us, several years ago, and he's been playing at Marion now a long time. He's still a young kid, but he's been playing there a long time, so he's got his feet wet.
And nice job on the pickup there to get the out. And again,
quick
so far,
one for Prairie. That was exactly what they needed.
3 up, 3 down here, and now from the bottom, we go to the top here. Top of inning number 3 coming on up here from Prospect Meadows here in Marion. And
Get those bids in. Get those bids in.
I mean, heck, you get the chance and get some autographs.
Yeah.
I mean, Stolke and other. I mean, how much more do you want?
You know what maybe they ought to do is see if they could get like a portable basketball hoop out here.
Oh yeah.
Maybe one-on-one or horse or something like that with some of these girls. They could really make some money, I think.
Oh yeah, really challenge them. I mean, who wouldn't want to try and beat?
And then the wind, play the wind on the shots too.
Yeah.
We could really have some fun with that.
Well, you can go to town on that. That'd be a fun thing to do. I'd take that up any day. I may not be successful
That's right.
very much. I mean, let's be honest here. You go against Stolke and others on that group, it's a talented group. I don't know if you're going to be as successful as you think you are, but it's good to be ambitious.
That's exactly right.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, here we continue on from Marion Prospect Meadows, and I believe, making sure I have that right on the mound, is Austin Goodrich, I believe. And we've seen a couple of them already. We've already seen from the Scotts to the Goodrich. I mean, there's a lot of family on this team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. They a lot of good bloodlines.
Yeah, and speaking about a lot of good bloodlines, I guess one of the things that, ladies and gentlemen, you should always check out is everything going on at Dugout Sports, because I say that as Jay, I love the fact that you and I were talking once, and you had called it. You said, "Hey, this Mitch Keller kid, he's gonna be the ace one day." And I mean, oh my gosh, what does that turn into? He gets to be the day one starter, and it was really, really cool to see that and go, you know what? I got a guy who knew that right off the bat.
Yeah, that is funny, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, last year, the same time Mitch was pitching, Mitch is pitching again tonight, and I just checked his line: 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, and the Pirates are in place right now to get the win. So that would be fantastic to see.
Yes, I mean, the one thing I really, really like is the fact that we can all sit there and claim, like, yeah, we've been there. We've seen him. He's pitched against us. He's hit against us. And, we can say, hey, we know some of the hidden talents of him.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Nicely done there to get the strikeout. This has been some pretty good pitching here, ever since that 3-0 start.
Yeah, it really has. Changed it up there, pitched it backwards. But, yeah, that was VJ Schulte there. That's Coach Justin Schulte's nephew. So,
VJ Schulte. All
yeah.
right.
So you're talking about names earlier. There's another good name for you, Schulte.
Oh my gosh! And who doesn't love that? I mean,
that's right. And we were talking about Iowa, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Justin's an Iowa alum as well. So, is it time for Mitch? When do you want Mitch on here?
Mitch is welcome anytime.
Let's go.
He's shaking his
time,
head.
It's time for Mitch.
All right, got to get Mitch Bowe on. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Mitch, whether or not you wanted or thought about coming up here in the first place, we really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is definitely not what I anticipated coming out here to watch some high school baseball.
Well, it gives us a chance to go ahead and say, okay, from this viewpoint now, what is it like now that you can come from playing in something like this to now watching this as a coach?
They do a great job up here, keeping the games on time. It's nice that they have turf and all that. And, these tournaments can get very hectic and very, very crazy and very out of whack with a lot of weather and, especially here in Iowa. But they do a great job, being a part of this growing up, being around this stuff.
Yep.
And just makes it easier, coming out here and watching games and, finding players that can fit with our program, and it's just it makes it a lot easier to navigate.
Yeah, well, and certainly, and then again, great venue, great field. I mean, obviously, little ties to Dwayne Banks Field, obviously a phenomenal field there. But again, as I touch up on that, I just want to talk on your transition as being a coach in general. What that's been like. I know it's kind of tough sometimes to go from player to coach. I can only imagine. But you seem to have made an easy transition here. What's it been like to be on the other side of things?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot different than anticipated. I will say that, I was my senior year. I was able to be voted as a captain, and kind of knew that baseball was something that I wanted to pursue, and kind of be a leader, have a bigger role with that stuff. The knowledge part of it, being able to be a good player and being able to be a good coach, they don't go hand in hand. There's a lot of stuff that actually goes into it. Just with the knowledge, trying to learn something new every single day as a coach, and trying to be able to give that to the guys. And it's not just about what you did as a player, and you can change the game even if you were a bench player, or you can see it. You see it. Good example is our managerial managers program.
Yes.
Those guys, may have, the last time they stepped between the lines were when they were 10 years old, or a coach pitch. And, I walk down there all the time, and I'm constantly asking those guys questions. And it's the stuff that they give us as coaches, they help us be successful. They help the players be successful more than, we could do. I mean, we have a small army down there in our manager's office. So they're absolutely awesome. They're incredible. They work their freaking tails off, man. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like they are in there before us. They're in there. They are in there after us. Making sure that all the videos uploaded and the guys have the proper, proper information, proper scouting, all that stuff. Those guys are incredible. So coming from someone that they don't play the game, they're not in between the lines. But I would take their knowledge over a lot of guys that are in between those lines. So.
Oh man, I gotta say, sometimes as a steal attempt has to foul them back to their base pass second and first. I just want to say, some of those guys, all of them, I look at and go, at some point you've got to be speaking English, right? I mean, you're speaking baseball, I know you are, but man, all this stuff that they talk about and they bring forth, and it's really cool to see that. And how does it feel when you see all these guys go off to the major leagues and say, we want Iowa guys, not just the players, but we want the managerial staff as well.
Yeah, no, that's some of the coolest part of it, You got guys that they're, you go into the office down there and they're filling out applications for, Pittsburgh Pirates, the, Phillies, the Cubs, like all that. And they've made a name for themselves, and it's pretty cool to see how far it's come. When I was a player at Iowa, we were kind of just getting that ball rolling with the managers, and to see where it's at now, is incredible. I mean, we have 50 plus applicants every year for our manager program now, and they have to sort through that and figure out the best ones. It's not easy to be a part of. So they do their homework, and they make sure that they have the right guys to be successful.
And now, so speaking of successful, as that one goes in for a nice successful strike here, you got the chance to now do some, coaching duties. You progress through there, third base coach now. Mm-hmm. How has that been when you get into that role? That's obviously a huge role, and it means a lot. Obviously, Coach Heller has a lot of confidence in what you're doing. How good does that feel now to get into that position yourself?
It feels really good. That's exactly what you said there. Coach Heller's been doing it for a very long time, and I know it was probably a little weird for him to be in the dugout for the first game of the year and not run down to third with his legendary run down to third.
Oh yeah.
But it says a lot that he has the trust to put me out there, and it's just making good decisions out there. You know who your guys are. Know who's fielding it out there with the the scouting that we do, and just about making good decisions and trying to put our guys in the best situations to be successful. And it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy coaching third with the guys. It keeps me a lot. It keeps me in the game, keeps me engaged, all that stuff. mental lapses. But yeah, it's been great. There's still a lot that I have to learn, out there coaching third. And the best part about it is I have, one of the best teachers,
of course,
out there. Rick's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
So there's not much that he hasn't seen. So asking him questions constantly and seeing what he would do and what, situations. And he's been great.
And then some rapid-fire questions to end us off here. I just got to ask a couple things. I think I know the answer to a lot of these, but just got to ask anyway. With fields like this, turf fields can't have seeds. But if you could go anywhere and have seeds, would you do seeds or gum?
I'm a gum guy.
Gum guy. There you go.
Yep. I get a little nervous, a little worked up in the game, so the constant gum is
keeps it.
Yep, it keeps it going. That's just kind of the way I chewed gum when I was a player, so it's kind of the same thing.
Okay, so you didn't have to. You weren't affected by the rules of the field.
No. Just
have you seen guys that have been come into the program and go, man, I that's my routine, that's my ritual. I can't eat seeds here.
Yep, yeah, they have to have little cups. They find their way to get their seeds in.
Okay,
but,
good. All right, as long as they're getting their routines in, their rituals and all that.
Yep.
That's okay. And then, there's a lot of times that you guys get to go on really cool venues. A lot of them are day games. But would you, if you had the choice, do you go for a day game or a night game? It's a little different in college.
That is a tough one. The night games are pretty electric.
Yeah,
when there's a good crowd and it's warm. That's a big thing. If it's warm.
That can be the change. Yeah.
Yes, if it's warm, I'm taking the night game every single time with the sun going down, starting around 6. Get a nice Iowa sunset. I would have to go with night game.
There you go. And then when you were a player, obviously you have your thoughts on it, but would you rather go, even now as a coach, do you like to go with the high stirrups or the long pants? I'm
a high stirrups guy.
Yeah, I like it. You can deck out that way.
I think it's a good look. The kind of pant that the player wears now, the super tight kind of jogger look, wasn't really an option back when I was playing, but I do like that look as well.
And there's a nice triple out there. That one was shot deep to right center field, and I think the triple has got to be one of the most exciting plays in baseball. Again, a home run's great, but when you can leg out a triple inside a ballpark like that, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, it always seems to fire the dugout up and get the boys rolling. So, yeah, I would agree.
Absolutely. And then lastly here, again, as we sit here, again, Iowa baseball just went through a huge sweep this past weekend. It's been an up and down season, certainly a lot of challenges, but man, how good does it feel, especially as we kind of wrap up the home slate? How good does it feel to do that, especially knowing that you're going to have a different renovated look next year?
Yeah, no, that was we went out there and we took care of business, and that's exactly what we needed to do. Going into this series, you can look at Northwestern and their record and their Big Ten record, and it would be really easy to look past them. They are a very tough and scrappy team. Coach Greenspan over there, it's his first year as the head coach over there at Northwestern, and you could see the difference already that it's making. He's a very good coach, and he's kind of a scrappy guy himself, so
that's good.
It definitely goes towards their team. But yeah, this weekend was great. We are battling through some injuries at this time, which always stinks. But to get a sweep with some guys kind of put on the shelf is always huge. For some of the younger guys to come in and step up and have a little bit of a bigger role. It was great. They knew what they needed to do this weekend or this past weekend, and they got it done. Obviously, we got Illinois coming up this weekend. They're sitting up towards the top of the Big Ten, and it's a great opportunity for us.
Yes, it is
to really make that kind of final push towards the top. And like you said, it's up and downs. We've had our up and downs this season. We've been tested. We've played some really good teams, and I think it's all going to come together towards the end, or at least we hope so. That the battle tested guys are going to come through for us.
They are.
I feel good with where we're at, and I know the guys are feeling really, really good after this weekend too. So just take it into Illinois and keep rolling.
There you go. Hey, let's go grab the win here, Coach. Coach Bo, thank you so very much for taking the time, and really appreciate you coming along for the ride.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue on here. Again, as that one was the first on the board of the inning. And as we continue on, that means it's a 4-0 game in favor of Marion, who again got shut out 2-0 against Iowa City High in the prior matchup here. But that one gets shot out there. A sacrifice fly brings in one more. And now we have just a runner on. We have that runner on first and a 4-0 ball game. Marion on top here with one down and a 1-0 count. Again, get the chance. A lot of new guys coming in here, getting some new faces as that one gets plunked back, and that evens it up at 1 apiece. Now, again, don't forget, still time. If you get the chance, go to Strikeout The Stigma and get some stuff done. Help out. Donate as much as you can. You can donate whenever, really, but make sure to donate and get some cool stuff while you're in the process. And again, while you get the chance to catch some really, really great games here. As that one is dialed in on the outer half of the strike zone, but right above belt high for a 2-1 count. And again, or 1-2 count, excuse me. And again, as we talk about this, don't forget that all the people who put on all the work here and do so much. Nikki Freese is just a godsend, and everybody, and not just her, everybody that is a part of this. And they do such great work, and you can't thank them enough for making this happen. It's really fitting that this is started by people who have known baseball and softball all their lives, and you can tell. You can really tell. And I think that we're just blessed to have those people here in Iowa as that one sails outside for ball 2. So again, don't forget to catch up on more content, including past high and tights and beyond. Also our prospect planner piece, which will be coming up later on this week. You can catch that as well, as that one is shot up, and that will go into the outfield grass. And that will mean station-to-station baseball, as we now have runners on first and second here for Marion. Just one down, and again, they kind of reloaded and come back pretty strong here in their game 2. In game 1, they took on Iowa City High and lost that one 2-0, but right now, with one down here, 2 runners on in the bottom of the third, they are up by the 4-0 mark. And here we go. That pitch sails just about letter high and above for ball 1. Again, both these teams are really strong in what they were able to do last year. And certainly, if you look at how they play the approach, both of them number 1 in their respective conferences as that one sails high for ball 2. We mentioned what Prairie did last year and what Prairie is more than capable of doing again in this 2024 campaign. They took the Mississippi Valley division of the Mississippi Conference to a task, right? Losing just 5 conference games, 7 overall, 33-7 overall record for them. And meanwhile, Marion, they did the same within the WAMAC. They went 16-4 overall in conference, 30-7 in their total record, as that one jumps now from 3-0 to 4-0. So 4-pitch walk will now load the bases here. Jägermeister still on the mound trying to get out of this one here for Cedar Rapids Prairie. And again, Prairie, a team that came so close to making the state tournament last season. They were a part of Kennedy. Both Cedar Rapids teams did not make it, despite being ever so close. as that one, sails up high for ball one. Again, Marion making the state tournament last season, as that one is swung on here, makes it an even count at 1-1. And Marion, they won some big games, including a big sub-state final over Xavier to make it to the state tournament. And that means 2 over the last 3 or 4 years. And so they've kind of built that dynasty ever since they were the Wolves. They were the Indians, and then changed to the Wolves. And in fact, it was the very final day that the program or the school was labeled the Indians before moving to the Wolves, in which Marion had won their state title here in Class 3A. So now a count that moves 2-2 here. Again, nice weather out. It's great time to play baseball. That one up and high. Sails about eye level of the umpire, making it a 3-2 count. Infield in here for Cedar Rapids Prairie under the direction of head coach James Nelson, as that one goes just a bit outside, and that will juice the bases so much so that another run will come in, and we'll have a 5-0 advantage here, and we will go back to bases loaded with just 1 out here in the bottom half of inning number 3. Again, this is a 4-inning affair here from Prospect Meadows. Again, what a great venue, and you can see why a Perfect Game has kind of made this home, and it is absolutely a stellar place to be. And it's just great to catch baseball, grab a hot dog anytime you get the chance to do that. That's great, but especially in this context, it's going to be even better. The 1-0 count gets fouled back and evens it up now at 1 apiece. Again, we've had a few walks here in this inning and kind of loaded up the bases. Some good, a couple singles, and of course, we started out with a big triple out there to right center field, and that kind of got things rolling here for this Marion squad in the bottom of inning number 3. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a whole lot more in store than simply just what's going on here on the field and on the campus here right now. There's so much more that you can get in touch with, and that includes, I don't believe, or I'm not sure anyway if there's still time, but if you get the chance, go out and check out Hannah Stolke and more, and again, a lot of fun there to be had as that one now evens it up at 2-2, but a lot of chance to get in touch with those, and just people you may not get the chance to have a face-to-face conversation with. That includes guys like Ben Zobrist, who's again part of Champion Ford, as that one's coming on in and unable to be caught. But a runner taken off to home. The play at the plate is there. So good wherewithal there in right field to catch that one and make the shot in. Again, it's well worth trying anyway, but good job out there in right. Some good heads-up baseball. And now we have 2 down here and a chance for Cedar Rapids Prairie to get out of this one. Again, want to thank a lot of the great sponsors who have made this possible, including the OS14 Foundation. That one struck up the middle. Nice play up the middle to get the force out at second. And that is how it is, but not before some more runs added on to the tack here for Marion, who now lead this one by that 4-0 mark. And we will have more coming on up after this. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and give a whole lot of shout-outs to what IA Baseball is doing on Rockfin. Certainly more chances for you to win some things, including, and we've saved this best for last, we've got a signed Cal Eldred baseball card that you can go ahead and grab. We'll let you know when you can go ahead and try and get those, and we can let you know just about what you can expect out of that. But again, signed Cal Eldred baseball card, 1994 edition, as we bring Jay back on you mentioning Cal, and obviously you know him very well. I was very fortunate to get a 1994 edition of him, and I really thank you for helping to get a signature with Cal. But you have him there quite often here, Jay. And first off, I want to take us through that. How did that partnership come to be? I know that you have a lot of connections, and you've been around the block. But one, how did that connection come to be, and how influential is it to have a guy like Cal in there?
Yeah, it's really, really special. But it came about through CJ. CJ was in the facility while he was still playing. Yep. And so Cal would come in the offseason. Obviously, Cal was still a big league pitching coach at the time. And, just kind of from there, and then as Cal has gotten done. But during COVID, we did a throwing program. We collabed CJ, Cal, and then Kepros Physical Therapy. And so we put together this really good throwing program. And just kind of through there, it's just kind of grown. And as Cal is, back home now. It's a baseball guy, and you're not going to take the game out of him. And it's awesome to see him continue to give back and teach. And gosh, what an invaluable resource. And there's a lot of kids here, that work with him, Reed Burkle and some of these other Prairie kids.
That one is struck nice.
Line. Yeah, it was.
That was one of those that was so smoked that it kind of limited his options for a double.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's Colin McClintock. Actually, as we're talking about the Eldred Kepros throwing program, Colin is someone that's been in that program for several years now. Maddox Mueller up now. Maddox is also in that program. And so, like you said, just having Cal around and his knowledge is obviously second to none. And he's great with the kids, and I'm just very fortunate to have Cal around, have CJ around, and obviously those types of resources are what makes baseball so great for these young kids.
No doubt about that. 0-1 count here. Peyton, the outside corner, does that just rightfully. A little slow roller, but nonetheless paints it just fine. 0-2 now the count, and just what you have there, it's really something special. Obviously you're doing a lot of great things here, but having all those guys, and that includes, as that one swung on for the strikeout, so out number one for the half inning. But you got the chance to see you've gotten a chance to see several major league debuts. How good is it? What does it feel like for you? Just you've seen their growth. You've seen all of it from a point that many don't get to see. What has it been like to kind of see guys like Mitch Keller and others make their way and get their major league debut? Yeah,
it's really special. Obviously, I'm a big fan of all those guys, and seeing the work that they put in the off season, I think is something that a lot of them come in earlier in the morning, so the kids are in school and stuff like that, and they don't normally see it, but seeing what they do, obviously there's a reason that they're big leaguers, and the way they go about their business, and from playing catch to stretching and their band work, and just everything that they do, it speaks to to where they're at. One of the more special ones obviously was last year. I spent a lot of time with Tyler Cropley and throwing in BP and having him around. My youngest son is a catcher, and Tyler's his favorite player, and so they work together. But just seeing Tyler make his major league debut last year is probably one of the sweetest things I've ever seen, and for him to get a hit and an RBI and all those things, it really is what you dream about, when you're a little kid.
Well, no doubt about that. As now that goes down to a 3-1 count here. Again, Cedar Rapids Prairie has someone on the base pass. They do have one down here in the top half of inning number 4. That one's shot right side foul.
Michael Day up here hitting, but they put Colin McClintock in motion last time he was on, so it'd be a good time here, full count. Let him run.
And we've seen that several times already.
Yeah.
Just let the beast go unleashed.
Yeah. Yep.
As
Nothing,
that
and
one
then
is
there's a base
struck
hit.
there, nicely done out to right. He kind of just tapped that ball, and it just kind of. I know that you preach that as well. Go with the pitch, and he certainly did that. And now we have 2 runners on.
He absolutely did. And he wasn't going to get called on a pitch, a ball or two off on the corner there, and punched it into right field for a single.
VJ Schulte, we talked about him already. Yeah. He's had some action here in today's game. And again, Cedar Rapids Prairie looking to get their first run onto the board here.
Yeah, big spot for VJ here. Right on that pitch, fouled it straight back.
That's one of those that you just you grit and bear, and then got to go back 3 seconds later and try and hit it again.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Baseball is one of those funny games where you can get something as frustrating as that happen, and you just got to get back up to it.
There's no doubt about that.
And here's the 0-1 count. That one is struck left side, and that will find its way into the outfield grass. And we're going to get someone waved on home. The dive is scored. Cedar Rapids Prairie off of a Schulte single scores 1.
Good piece of hitting there by VJ.
And that's kind of what you want. It's been most of the game so far unable to get that elusive run, but they finally do just that, and they score him there. So Schulte with an RBI single here in today's game.
Coach Fish going to come out and give his pitcher a little break, catch his breath, and obviously they're still first and second here. They double play ball, but Prairie's got something going here. First and second, 1 out.
So as you sit here, what do you say to him here at this point? I mean, I know you've gotten the chance to say some things over the course, but what do you say at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you're up 4-1, so hey, you're good. Get me a double play ball and let's get out of this.
Yeah.
And really just catch his breath and relax and on to the next pitch. So
it is always amazing. Both of these teams have just athletes. Mm-hmm. And I look at what they do and go, I'm already tired out just watching you. And but they're not. And so a lot of great credit to their strength conditioning programs. I know Coach Nelson for Prairie had mentioned that plenty of times, and we got the chance to catch them at the coaches clinic. So
yeah, they've got an absolute beautiful facility.
Man. I'm jealous, and I'm not even a part of that. As that one swung on nicely, and almost caught that one, but certainly some good pitching out there on the mound.
And he's keeping the ball down, right? That's what he wants to do. Try and get himself a ground ball. Good swing though by Tierney.
Tierney now with the jam shot that gets him out. That was, just a little bit more oomph on that would have probably gotten him at least a single in station-to-station baseball. But nonetheless, we sit here with 2 down here.
Yep, 2 down and turn it back over to the top with Cameron Francois.
Francois has had some good outings again last year. Of course, this year as well, as we start unofficially the season with these 4-inning scrimmages here, part of the Strikeout The Stigma event.
Yep.
That one gets shot there. That is a cannon out there into the left center field gap. That'll send a runner on home, and now we are halved all the way up here. Runner taken off to second, so we have runners on second and third, 2 down, and we have a 4-2 ball game.
It's a great piece of hitting. And great base running, too. Ball comes in, missed the cut. Ball's thrown into third, and backside runner makes it to second base. So shortstop's got to try and cut that ball or, fake, try and deke a cut or something to try and hold him there, because now you've got the tying run at second base and single. It's a totally new ball game here. So
Yeah, this is kind of the do or die. You could think of it kind of pseudo-like as the bottom of the seventh or top of the seventh. But
that's exactly right.
As that one is nicely in there. That was kind of one of those that you could tell he wanted to, took back, and then probably should have ended up swinging.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly right. That's probably the perfect time to give a shout-out to Miles Davis. He'd texted me earlier, but obviously they're missing Miles, and you had the Iowa coach on earlier, so great time to say what's up to Miles.
Yeah, Miles, and certainly hope he's doing well down there in Florida, but I believe at the
A3.
A3, yeah. Yep. And certainly, gosh, got to love that, and got to love what he's doing, and certainly wish the best of him. He was one of the things, I think that guy has a steel trap of a memory, by the way. I don't know if you've come across that, but one thing said at the beginning of the season, and he knew exactly what I was, who I was, and what I was doing. And what I said when I think it was the game you and I had broadcast against Xavier.
Yeah. That was the one that he hit the ball over the scoreboard.
I think it still hasn't landed at this point.
His bat might not have landed either.
That was the highest bat flip I've ever seen anybody make. I tell you what. I mean, kudos to him. He earned it.
Yeah, that's right.
He earned every bit of that one.
That's exactly right.
Got absolutely love again. Congrats again. I think he has a real shot at going as far as possible. I know Iowa is where he's committed to collegiately, but there's some talks about him possibly going a little bit further than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's put himself in a very good position to have some options. When that comes, and just wish the best for him. And obviously, like you said, great kid and really hard worker.
No doubt about that. And speaking of hard working here, a lot of great hard working players here on the field. Here we're going to go ahead, and it's the bottom of inning at number 4. Again, scrimmage. Well, let's get in as much as we can, right? And that's what we're doing here now. Again, Marion up by the total of 4-2. And certainly been a part of a really good overall night so far. The Strikeout The Stigma event has been absolutely stellar. We've talked with Aaron from Album Health. We've talked to Travis from Perfect Game. And we've got the impromptu conversation with Coach Mitchell Bowe of University of Iowa Hawkeyes. And absolutely love it. Kind of a really cool – he's a really cool story for anybody out there just to kind of go through and try and follow that. And I think he may have vacated our building, and I think it's because we ambushed him there.
When I saw him come up here, I was like, oh, Mitch does not know what he's going to be in for.
He does not.
And we got him.
And to his credit, he took it on like it was something he had planned from day one.
He absolutely did. He was a champ about it. I know Coach McGrath is here too. Sean McGrath's around here, but he is definitely not going to bring his bag up here.
Probably now. He's probably sitting there. Coach Bowe's going, hey, don't go up there. You'll get roped into a conversation you didn't want to be a part of.
This is just the start. Next year, Marty will be on, or Rick, or somebody. So Mitch is he's the first, and then next year we'll just continue on.
Yeah, we got to have that as a nice strikeout there. 1-2 going in, and kind of took off a little bit on that mark there on the speed count, I should say, as we're out number 1, and that's always a fun thing to get to when you kind of look at that. And again, a new pitcher on the mound here for Cedar Rapids Prairie. I believe it's Hayden Stockdale.
Okay.
Stockdale, the junior, had three and third innings pitched last season and had 2 strikeouts in that time frame. And so now we go a 1-0 count here. And the pitch, that one took a little off of that one, and that was a swing through, evening up the count at 1-1. Again, Marion in the black, Cedar Rapids Prairie in the all green tops. That one fouled back, now 1-2 the count. And again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out. We have a ton of content for you coming out for this from video, short videos, photos, and more. We got the chance to give you the full 360 as we can, as that is strike 3 and out number 2. Some really good work here from Stockdale coming into this one out of the pen.
Yeah, he comes in and pounds the strike zone and gets a quick couple outs there. It's exactly what you want from your bullpen.
No doubt about that. So now that we have 2 down, nobody on. And kind of this is where in the game, in a normal game, you'd be going, all right, we are cooking right now. And offensively and defensively, both of them are cooking pretty well. Marion got out with thanks to a couple of Cedar Rapids Prairie walks. And, of course, a couple singles, had the bases loaded and had a couple walks to draw in a couple runs, a couple RBI singles. And there you go. We have a 4-2 game in favor of Marion. And right now, a 1-1 count. So that one gets shot back up and might hit hard. Yep, it did. We were waiting for that one. In fact, that kind of came right here. You know, you look out there, there's plenty of dents there. You know, look at all the dents. And I'd say if you don't have a lot of dents, then you might be doing something wrong. But again, here we are from the Strikeout the Stigma event at Prospect Meadows here in Marion. What an absolute great place to be. And hopefully you'll enjoy yourself. That one gets a jam shot out there. Playable, but unable to be caught.
One thing here while we're talking about Cedar Rapids Prairie, we'd be remiss to not mention their American Legion team.
Yes.
Going on to play in the state championship is going to be Wednesday, and I think I just heard that they moved it back to right when the season's over. So Prairie Legion versus Dubuque County to move on. So that'll be fun for those kids, and I think they've got a couple Kennedy kids. So they're a well-represented team, and hoping that that's a good game. There's another foul ball for you. Oh. Could have had that window open.
I know. We could have had a ball. Could have had a souvenir.
Shoot. But
that's really cool that you mentioned that, because we saw last year when they made that deep run nationally, let alone what they've been able to do this so far this year. I mean, it's really cool. And for those who aren't aware, that the American Legion season starts here in the spring, correct?
Yeah, so they play. They basically get done before the high school season, and then the kids go off and play their high school seasons, and then they come back kind of after that. And normally they have the winter, but due to rain on Saturday and whatnot, they bumped it back. So it'll be Prairie Legion versus Dubuque County Legion right after the state tournament, and then the winter will go on. And like you said, Prairie went on last year and had a great run at the World Series. So hopefully, that's a great game between them and Dubuque. And I know there's a bunch of great players in both of those games.
No doubt about that. And that will wrap up the game here in this one. Marion takes the scrimmage 4-2. And thanks to a couple of walks, a couple of bases loaded walks, and a couple really good timely hits, they take on the 4. But, of course, in the last inning, it was Cedar Rapids Prairie to make it close as they struck for 2 runs, and including a VJ Schulte RBI single that made it 4-2 in the final inning, in the top half of the 4th inning. So, but unable to come through with the win is Cedar Rapids Prairie. But nonetheless, we all win here at the Strikeout the Stigma event. But again, Andrew Brown here with Jay Wannell as we are continue to wrap things up here. Again, we got games going on all across. In fact, got some big flies happening out on the right field here, and looks like games are done on the left. But certainly, as we get the chance to watch some more kids running around the bases, which is always fun. Again, talking about the chance here, Jay, I want to talk to you a little bit too about, if somebody's just getting into, the kid's just getting into baseball. One thing that I was asked, where's the best route to go, and certainly a lot of routes to go, but American Legion has to be at least on your radar when you think about, different ways to just get involved with the game.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I know American Legion has been, it's been around for a long, long time. I was fortunate enough when I was in high school to play for an unbelievable American Legion coach in Independence, Don Graw, and his grandson is actually one of the leading hitters for Kennedy. Nolan is going to play Division I baseball, but I had just an unbelievable experience playing American Legion, and it's more than just a game, and the Legionnaires that you represent and their involvement, and it's definitely an extra baseball, and it's an avenue that you're very fortunate to have gone that route, and obviously the kids from Prairie last year that made it all the way to the World Series, and those are memories and trips and teammates that they'll remember those people for the rest of their lives.
Amen to that. And certainly a lot of different ways that you can take part, including not only that, but many different ways to get involved with the game. So there's never an opportunity that's lost. There's always an opportunity to go ahead and get involved. So from American Legion all the way to great organizations like, Top Tier. So, again, make sure to check that out. And there's still time, even past today, to check out Strikeout the Stigma, to give to the Green Bandana Project, Project Safe, and beyond. And we've had a lot of great chances to meet some great people, including from Album Health. Aaron from Album Health, he was gracious enough to give us his time. So really appreciate all of that. And with that, Jay, I keep thinking that we have some bonus baseball somewhere. I'm used to a 7-inning game. I've been watching a lot of MLB lately, so I'm thinking, man, we still got a big stretch yet to go.
Can they put a runner at second here for us and we play one more?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's make it happen. Give us a little extra juice here.
Oh, no, that's fun.
But nonetheless, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is it here for all the events here. Again, a big shout out to Nikki Priest and everybody at Strikeout the Stigma. A big shout out to Album Health. Perfect Game. And everybody in between. Of course, we mentioned the Green Bandana Project, something that helps students get activated into the world of mental health and helping them with helping others of mental health. And so it really is a lot of great things, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to check that out and have some fun with that. But for right now, for ladies and gentlemen, for myself, Andrew Brown, and for the one and only Jay Wannell. Jay, thanks again, as always. I know that when we get back up here to broadcast, I believe we're looking at a Cedar Rapids Prairie game. Hopefully we can get you on, and because this is always a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be awesome to come back and do it again. It's always fun to kind of get the high school season kicked off here with you, Andrew. So I appreciate you having me on again.
Well, as always, a big thank you to Jay and a big thank you to you, ladies and gentlemen, for stopping on by. We're going to wrap things up here. Thanks again, as always, Andrew Brown, Kate Nissen and company. Really appreciate it. Hey, we've got more preseason tour coming on, and we're going to hit up some Johnston as well as others. So keep it coming. Who else should we go after? Of course, we're looking at Anamosa as well. But give us a shout out. Should we come to your town as well? Let us know. But for myself, Andrew Brown, and Jay Wannell, thanks for joining us here on IA Baseball for Strikeout the Stigma. We will see you later, and stay safe on the base paths.